Wake up, Daddy's home.
I feel the need for speed.
And it's shaking Bait 10. Damn the torpedoes! Everybody on? Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus.
Good evening.
How's it going? Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate you being here. As you can see, there's only 2 boxes this evening.
I scared off everyone, which I'm kind of proud of.
Yeah, look, this is a deeper topic. I think that we're covering tonight. We're going to be doing good evening, Cypher.
I think this guy will stick around because if you see that logo, that looks a lot like Santa Cruz.
Indeed. So, tonight I figured we go back into the archives and maybe dig up some of those old feelings, because I'm sure that there's plenty of adults out there that used to skate, used to ride bikes, and put those things away. Because I know a lot of the BMX guys nowadays, I think there's only 2 guys left that ride, and that's because we're so mangled by this point.
As someone, I rode BMX like before I really found skateboarding.
Mhm.
And I will, to the day I die, I'll say skateboarding is the hardest thing to, just because you can do so many things.
Mhm.
But BMX is so dangerous. Like, and I'll even say it about rollerblading. Like when rollerbladers used to try like big rails or ledges, when they still do, there's no bailing. Like there's no ditching your board. And on bikes, I'm sorry, Matt Hoffman, no brakes, really? Like no brakes.
You look at Dave Mira and that sad story.
Yeah.
He had that CTE, and that's something that you only think of like football players or hockey players now, but all the extreme sports guys, odds are.
Especially biking. Again, the BMX is just, again, you get mangled in that, and I it's happened to me. When I was riding, and I don't say I was
Mhm.
riding, like I was like we rode down like hills, like we were talking about earlier. I never
Mhm.
rode ramps or anything. There was a big hill that we would ride down and jump out of. And I think we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
all before skateboarding.
Hmm. And we'll get into my brief foray into skateboards. Oh, there he is, Jetman. Feel better, get well.
Yeah, get better, buddy. I sent you a message. You know, 10-year anniversary of Joe Fest. Maybe even you'll go this year, Joe.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what. It's I did book my hotel. I booked a hotel,
Did you get it
so
for the whole weekend?
I got it from Thursday through Monday.
That Thursday is completely booked for some reason.
I am down the road on Thursday.
Okay, that doesn't
Uh,
count then.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not in the hotel on Thursday, so
Yeah, and I think it's just either a glitch or they're holding stuff. But I'm like, what? And it's the only date that is booked all of 2027 so far. So it tells me like there's something, whether there's a crossover and stuff or what. So I don't know.
yeah. Hey, Crow, what's going on, buddy? And Wes is out there. He's gleaming his cube.
That's
Yeah,
that movie makes me sad.
sadder than thrashing.
I'm not a thrashing fan, or thrash. Like I'm not a fan of those. Gleaming the Cube was fun. Again, it is hard for me. Um, I've said this numerous times. Skateboarding is the most important thing other than my kids, more than toys, anything. It did more for me than anything. But
Hmm.
I'll stand by what I've always said, and it won't change. That the greatest extreme sports movie, and it's not even close, is Rad.
Yes, yes.
I love the fucking movie. Like there are movies that you watch and you're like, oh, this was so much fun. I love Rad. When they go ass sliding, when they bicycle boogie, and the evil Bart Connors comes out and says, "You could have at least waited until I finish my dance." Raymond and Tomax are in it,
Yeah, yeah,
and to
yeah.
this day, I'm still mad that they did not do a GI Joe movie the moment they saw those people and said, "We got to do a movie just because."
For real, for real.
Like,
Yes.
the only better casting in all of history might have been Professor Xavier.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Uh, and who knew that that was going to be Lori Laughlin's villain origin story? Like, yeah,
And I think
who
it's great.
knew?
It's great because the actor that plays Crew Jones, I can't think of his name. Um, he they still do stuff for it. Like
Hmm.
they still do cons for it. They know what it means to people.
Yeah.
Adrian was in it.
Hmm.
There were some
Hmm.
other older actors. So to me, like it is by far the best extreme movie of all time. Like there's nothing even close. And Gleaming the Cube should have been, but it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. But Rodney Mullen, and I forget who the
Mike McGill.
other Mike McGill did all the stunts,
And
all the
you know,
flatland
and,
and crazy
and
stunts.
you know the problem with that.
What is it?
Rodney Mullen is regular.
Mm,
Mike McGill is goofy.
hmm. See,
So,
I would not know that,
oh, believe me,
but
because and Christian Slater is regular because
Mhm.
there's a spot where he is being pulled by the car, and then he jumps into a method, and now he's goofy. And even as a kid, it drove me nuts.
Mm. So Wes says, what GI Joe character would be BMX and who would be into skateboarding?
Oh well, I mean, I think the closest skateboarder would have to be Rock and Roll because he's surfer.
Surfer, yep. I
Um,
mean,
but a lot
but
of
you
times it's not
also
a crossover.
you have Muskrat with his boogie board too, though.
I never had Muskrat, so I don't know anything about him.
Uh, I didn't have him either. I've just seen him in books.
And
So,
I said it before, like so the snow serpent comes with the snowboard, and now um Iceberg is coming, and I
mhm,
cannot deal with it. They will never be on it because the snowboard is goofy and I'm regular, and my mind cannot allow me to pretend and do things that way because I have to do things a certain way. I mean, I can watch a goofy footed skater, it's not a problem. But if
mhm,
you were trying to learn a trick watching a goofy footed, and
mhm.
one of my best friends, he was goofy, he said, and I didn't know this. Oh my God, this is crazy actually. He said he would watch it in a mirror. And what's crazy, and the reason
Uh,
why I said this crazy is because there's another pro skater that just took his own life, and I heard him
mm,
saying the same thing. And that's when Tony a few years ago said, "Yeah, I used to do the same thing."
Oh wow. That's, I mean, to me, listening to Rodney Mullen speak, he is an amazing soul. Like
He
he
is
gets it. Like he is so zen.
he's
He
on a
has his shit
different
together.
level. He's on a different
Mhm.
level than people. And I'm not talking about skateboarders, just people. Like
Mhm.
I'm sorry, as much as I love skateboarding, you could not put me on a parking pad and I could not have fun. And he would sit there
Right.
for hours in the middle of the night. Yeah, no, that's not happening for me.
No. No. We're gonna do a little bit of toys first, and then we can dive knee deep into this. You said that you picked up two things today. Let me embiggen you, and you can.
I don't have them.
Oh, you don't? Okay, so maybe you could tell us about
Well,
it.
one, you can see the review. I do have
Okay.
the Scarlet Shebang.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That I got this morning, so I pumped that review out.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I actually, and I have no connection to either one of them. Shebang, in my opinion, is better than Scarlet. He has
Okay.
really nice detail. If I would have known that, like you kind of brought it up, and I was like, oh, um,
Wait.
yeah. So I did that, and then I just finished recording, which will probably go live tomorrow. I doubt I'll put it up tonight.
Mhm.
Shirtless Wolverine.
Okay.
I went back and picked it up, and I just want to say that is for one specific scene for the most part. I guess there's a
Mhm.
couple of scenes right after. It is a fun figure because he is shirtless, and he has a screaming face. And I went, "Oh my gosh, what if I have a couple of my screaming guys, but they're not mad?" I'm like super excited. I took these pictures. Most people probably
Okay.
look at me like those suck, but I had fun doing it.
But that isn't that most people today, like they tune in to hate watch and point, like
Oh
there is
yeah,
it's a decreasing number of people that actually watch something hoping to enjoy it. I call it pre-pissed. The majority of collectors now are pre-pissed, no
yeah.
matter what is going on.
You know, I can't find myself to sit there and hate watch. I have way too many other things in my life to sit down. Now, I'll watch people that I don't like because they give me enjoyment, um,
Mhm.
because of how dumb they are, but I don't actively watch, and again, I know a lot of people that do. You know a lot of people that do. We have some
Mhm.
crossovers of people that that do.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, there are certain people on the internet that I only know what they do because people will message me and I'm like, okay, like I don't watch this for a reason, but
Mhm.
to each their own, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um I this week I actually reached back a little bit. I picked up the Delta Red zombie defense loadout
I
from
forgot.
Operation Monster Force. It's something I missed. I skipped out on it because I'm like, I don't need it. And then the reason I needed it, and this is why I went back and got it, is because I got a bunch of the Skull Crushers
Okay.
in this week, and I like them. It's the same buck. It's the same
They do.
loadout. It's got a really cool paint scheme to them, right? So I'm like, okay, in my storytelling on my shelf, these guys are the weapons manufacturers, dealers, whatever. So would it not make sense for them to have a vampire guy representative that deals with, the good guys, and then a wolf guy, the guy that turns from human to wolf, and sells to the bad guys.
All right, so I got to ask you because last
Mhm,
that I remember, you were
mhm,
only picking up stuff to fit into your GI Joe world.
mhm.
Has that changed?
It has immensely,
Okay.
immensely. Now, and the reason for that is I feel Not that this is more interesting, um, but and I'll tell you, these vests suck. Um,
Hey,
but
once you take them off,
oh yeah,
they're
no,
good until
there's
you
no.
take them off, and then like
Mhm.
all the other ones, Valaverse has the same issue, and
Yeah. But um what I found is now by branching out a little bit more. So like in my tomb, I've got Mythic Legion zombie guys, that look like like ancient Egyptian guys. I've got, the Egyptian gods from Figura Obscura, and like all of it's coming into like a whole different world. Like GI Joe is a part of it, but now it's expanding, and they all will come together, because the whole in my head canon, the whole reason that the Forgotten King got out was because they were looking for DNA to get Serpentor together. So like they accidentally let him out. It was that is my storytelling there. So it's kind of like GI Joe has its story, Operation Monster Force has its story, but there's crossover, and some of the scenes that I'm creating show that crossover, and I think it's neat. It's different.
no, and again, like you create your own universe. I mean, we don't have to live in one specific universe. You
Hmm.
create it, and you do what you want with it. And some of these, this last wave of Operation Monster Force, um, there's a lot of that mythical side of things that you could use that you can even especially work into like Marvel Legends,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I enjoy it. I realize now as an adult and trying to do photography, and I enjoy doing it, but I'm not going to call myself a photographer. I enjoy mixing different properties together for pictures.
Hmm.
And I mean,
Hmm.
not sit there like with their in that universe all the time, but it's kind of fun to see Storm Shadow fighting an AWOC figure.
Yes, yes. I really had to scale back, because I almost got a loose collector Yeti for when my snowcat comes, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if I had a Yeti in the background? And then I was like, that Yeti is like, it's like what, 10.5 inches tall or something? Like it's big. And I'm like, it's gonna make my snowcat look tiny. Like there's no way to get scale or distance, enough distance between them. So thankfully I let that go.
I've
Um,
never heard of that one. I've never heard of that one brand. I know GI Joe and Operation Monster Force and Marvel Legends. I don't know. I
mhm.
don't know what that other one is.
So yeah, they do like there's like a it's monster related mostly. So they have a Bigfoot, which is like much
Oh no, I'm
taller
talking
than
about here.
Chatsworth.
This GI
Oh.
Joe. I know Operation Monster Force. I don't know what that other brand is there. Oh, is that the knock? Oh, that's the GI Joe knockoff. Okay, I know. I know what it is.
Hmm. Hmm. And Ninja Turtles.
I
Yeah.
have my real red shadows.
Yeah. Yeah. But one of the neater things that I got this week, not toy related, was this from my college radio days. This was a hugely important album in college, Pie Tasters Willis. So, but I know you're not exactly a ska person, so I would not expect that to register for you.
No, it does not. And I said, as life went on, I started
Mhm.
to actually enjoy ska
Mhm.
a little more. I won't be like listening to it on my own, but I don't. It does. I don't
Yeah.
despise it like I did growing up. My son
It's
is
like,
like, yeah. My son came down like I was downstairs before the show, and then you heard
mhm.
when he came in, like he's asked me all these questions, like, "You don't like Nirvana? Why?" I'm like, "Because I think it's garbage. I don't like grunge." So he's asked me all these different. He's like, "Well, what do you like other than like 80s and punk?" I'm like, "Well, I like some thrash metal. I like some of the older rap, 60s music, some 70s. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a music snob for what I like.
So, I'm in agreement with you, and we actually have a little segment dedicated to music. So I look forward to that. Oh, there you go, two tone toys. There you go. uh, Voodoo glow skulls. Yep. Yep.
So Voodoo Glow Skulls, I like the Voodoo Glow Skulls. I
Hmm.
actually saw them. So my buddy's band opened up for them,
Hmm.
and Mustard Plug was supposed like it was supposed to be my buddy's band. And Mustard Plug was like the second headliner, then
Hmm.
Voodoo Glow Skulls. But because it was in Michigan and Voodoo Glow Skulls are from Michigan, I'm sorry, Mustard Plug is from Michigan. Voodoo Glow
Hmm.
Skulls played first, and Mustard Plug, who I was never a fan of, they put on one of the most amazing shows. Went to like 3 in the morning. Um, so
Nice.
much energy, like so much energy. So, I guess that I've learned to appreciate some of it.
Hmm. Yeah. There was a band from New Jersey called Catch 22, which the lead singer left and formed Streetlight Manifesto, which
Oh
is,
yeah,
a lot of people are familiar with Streetlight. But I remember going to a roller rink to watch them play, which is like, and I interviewed them for the college radio. I saw them at a bar in Passaic, New Jersey. Like, talk about the very origins of something. But now, of course, I had a vinyl of Catch 22's Keys Be Nights. Great album, and it's been lost to time. So so you're live on Sunday too.
this is not my show. I'm just a guest, but I will say this: you guys, if you're watching on my channel, please head on over and sub to Joe ARH and watch over there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So maybe if we get the toy talk out of the way, and for those of you that want to get pre-pissed, here's your shot. I saw you discuss this, okay, and I saw you discuss this during Punk's pit. Um, I appreciate the invite, but I was not together enough to appear, so I apologize. But
Oh, that's cool. Like,
but so like, all right, I couldn't wait to get my hands on this as a kid. I was hoping that they were going to do one for classified. It's not a great tactical vehicle. I never
no, it's
thought it
awful.
was. Okay,
It's awful.
it it's got two missiles and cannons that are like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so yeah, but it's here. The thing, if you want to get pissed about something, get pissed that that's the slaughter that they attached with this thing. That's where I'm like,
Okay, so
that's
so
where I'm upset.
so what makes you mad about it?
So with the amount of slaughters that we've had to date, so this is number three, I think. So
This is
we
4.
had we had the first. Is this four? Okay, so you
Yeah,
had the original one, Mad Marauders, the Desert Guy, and now this guy. Yeah, four. Why can't we get the USA with the
it was
black
costed
guinea
out.
tea? Was it?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah, because of all the tooling that went into this, my
Hmm.
understanding is it was costed out, which makes sense because you start putting
Yep.
Tampo on him, and he does have camouflage pants.
Hmm.
It looks like you start putting the Tampo on it. That's going to cost money. Where you're going to take it away from?
And
Canopy.
I can I can respect that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I needed the working treads. I mean, that may be
Listen,
heresy.
listen. We don't listen. That is not listen. That tiny little figure.
Hmm. Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, I'm glad to have multiple options. Like, I like all the classified vehicles where you can revert it to something if you want it to look just like, I know that's something I've heard you talk about time and again. The folks that are like, I want it exactly like when I was a kid but bigger or whatever. I like having the option like the His Tank. You get the old version or the new version,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do.
Make it
I
fun.
think Yes, 100%. So, uh, yes, absolutely. You get 100% off the price of admission. But yeah, so this was the big thing this week, and I've seen a lot of people upset about it, and I'm like,
I think
it's a
when people actually see it,
Mhm,
um, and I'm only saying that because some people have actually seen it.
mhm,
It looks different. Like, it doesn't look
okay,
different. Like, there's a lot of things that I think people will be happy about.
mhm.
Um, where I don't think the render is doing it justice.
Fair point, because I've seen quite a few things where I was like, and then I see it and I'm like, yes, I am so glad that they did this. You know? Um, so
All right,
that's
Brandon.
it.
Brandon, I want to address something here.
Okay, go for
All right, it says
it.
funk. It's 112 scale. I like it. You don't have to, and you don't have to like Vala. But fact is, it will impact sales if this slaughter for guys who already have a bunch. Okay, first off, drunk slaughter is right over here. All right, here is drunk Vala slaughter. All right, he literally sits at a drunken stage. Many years ago, I made a little comment on Instagram with G.I. Joe Slaughter looking at Devala Slaughter saying, "Wow, you're tiny," something like that.
Mhm.
The owner that you like, I don't know if you like him, on a Saturday came in and had to make comments on my Instagram. It's still there. You can go find it. You'll see he has me blocked. That same day, he went after another friend of mine because he posted that he was selling his stuff. So it's not just disliking him. He is the one. He is the one that got upset when I called him a little bit smaller, which he is. And
Uh,
again, I corrected and I said maybe I don't know if you know him or not. That's not the point. Is, and again, it is a running joke. I say, hey, never heard of
yep.
that brand. I used to review it. I used to buy them.
Hmm. I mean, yeah,
And
it's
if people do, that's fine. I don't like
yeah.
again. I just
A-
don't talk about it.
and I think there is a fair enough amount of toy people on YouTube that say, "Hey, buy what you like. I don't care." It's toys, man. Like,
Yeah,
people are getting real worked up over some stuff. Let's see. I think this would have hit better with the USA shirted sweater. No doubt. No doubt.
yeah. But like I said, from my understanding, it was costed out because it costs more. And
I
when you
think
look at this is all new tooling other than
Mhm.
I think the missiles and the machine guns.
Right.
And obviously the
Yep.
figure is a reuse again, but
Hmm. And look, I think if you take the canopy off of it, it's going to look quite different,
yeah,
and like you said, it's going to look different in person than the render. I mean, if you look at, I think I was one of the people that early on said, look how chunky the Cobra Law guard is, but it was really just the way that the render was stretched in that,
yeah.
you know, it, I mean, it was a chunky dude, but not like what the render showed. So, um, but
And
in
then
any
again,
case,
it is a digital render. And we've
yep.
seen digital renders that look amazing, and then you get them in hand and you go, "Oh,
Hmm.
ooh, yeah, about that."
Yeah. How about it? But
But you do know what it looks like before you order it. That is the one thing I will
Mhm.
say. It's not like you order the digital render. You do see what, so everyone can say whatever they want about Falcon and the original Cover Girl. They saw it before they ordered it.
Right. Yes. Yes. No doubt. No doubt. Um, so, and that kind of concludes the toy portion of the this evening.
So,
Um,
so quickly here with
yep.
Brandon talking about the whole slaughter thing.
Hmm.
From my understanding, it's basically in his contract. That's why they keep making more slaughters.
Hmm.
And I don't know this for sure, but I believe the whole reason why they did the Transformer one that fell into the line with the contract.
Hmm.
So they
Yeah.
have to do so many slaughters. So I would assume eventually they will get the USA one.
Hmm. I hope so. I mean,
It's the
like
most
I.
iconic one.
Hmm. I think
So
I had to mail away for my slaughter. I think was the USA the mail away one?
yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I never had that one. I had the one
Hmm.
that came with the triple T. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think I ever had. I don't think I ever had that one. I have it now because Johnny Reno sent it to me. So
Oh,
I have that
nice.
one, and so I never had the other ones either, which I do now. I have the Warthog,
Hmm.
the Warthog one, and I got a Warthog.
Nice.
What a cool vehicle.
What is it? Rowdy Toys has something that looks kind of close to it now, right? That's coming. Is that Rowdy Toys, or is it like based on it, but it's different?
Um, uh, Gridiron has something coming. It has like a
Okay.
big Warthog front end that comes off, but
Okay.
I forget what it's called. But it looks different, and I mean
Hmm.
all of Gridiron stuff looks different. Rowdy Toys, then I saw their booth makes nice looking stuff, but they're
Hmm.
literally redesigning the exact things that we had as kids,
Yep.
and that's where
Yeah.
Gridiron makes a huge. Their leap goes another way, which is probably very smart, especially considering how you know how big they are.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So,
what
uh,
kind of skateboard?
I guess slaughter. I guess
Oh,
it's slaughter.
I mean,
Slaughter
I'm
came with
getting
a.
it no matter what.
I was thinking about this for all the things that, I mean, not that I want Uncle Todd to jump into this market. Let me be clear. But for all the sports stars and other things that he does, like how do we not have an extreme,
There is a
figure set
Yuto.
yet?
So there is a Yuto figure
Hmm.
that a Mafex did. And
Hmm.
if people don't know who Yuto is, he won the Olympics. Japanese rider, just as just amazing. Um, it's weird to make a. I think it's weird to make a skateboarder because it's hard for them to do anything.
Hmm.
Biking would be a little bit different because you're technically riding it.
Hmm.
Rollerblader would just be dumb, and no one would buy a scooter one because you have to be 12 or younger to ride a scooter. Okay, you should be 12 or younger to ride a
Yes.
scooter.
When I was doing some research in and getting things together for tonight, I
Oof.
came across the scooter videos and the scooter guys, and I'm like, oh,
So
yeah.
when I started skating again 10 years ago, my buddy Tony, um, he talked about him and he said,
Mhm.
and I go, they're as bad as I said they can't be as bad as the rollerbladers were, and he goes, oh no, they're way worse. And I can't believe it. And he was absolutely right. And the rollerbladers now, I respect them because they are
Mhm.
in the same position we were in the early and mid 90s, where the only people that skated were people that absolutely loved it.
Mhm.
Now the
Mhm.
only people that really do aggressive inlining, and I'm
Mhm.
talking about rollerblading, down the bike path,
Right.
um, they love it, and they are who we were 30 years ago. The only difference is I don't see it ever coming back. I see it remaining a super niche where
Mm.
skateboarding it appeals to the masses in many ways.
Mhm.
So I I told the guy at Modern to order the 4 popsicle sticks. And if you may not know what a popsicle stick is, one that looks like a popsicle stick, so there's 4 of them. Actually, it's
Mhm.
all the Cobra ones, and the GI Joe ones are all shaped boards.
Mhm.
So Whether or not he did, um, I won't be mad if he didn't because there's a big chunk of change that I committed to. But I don't have to worry about it till like Christmas time because that makes a lot of sense for me.
It's October through December that is a collector hell.
Oh yeah,
That is what that is right now.
and if
October
you go
through
to
December is like
a show, like I've committed to
mhm,
assembly required. Well, that's a chunk of change.
mhm,
Even driving.
that is.
Luckily, it's not one that usually it's not one last year that cost me nearly as much as Joe Fest. And I was pretty good at
Mhm,
Joe Fest this year. Of course, then I went to
mhm.
Orlando. That's probably why.
I I don't know if you caught my comment, but when you were like when they started gift wrapping it and I put my comment in, I was like, how else were you going to surprise yourself later this year when you unwrap it? But
No, it's yeah, yeah. Now and again, I tell people I'm in a different position for the most part because my channel actually makes money and
mhm,
um pretty much does support my collecting habits. Not everyone else is in that position.
mhm,
And hopefully, and I keep saying it, don't try and keep up with the Joneses, right? Like don't
yeah.
try to keep up with the Joneses and be like, well, Punk has it. I don't look at Woody and try and compete with what Woody has. You know, Woody is in a different atmosphere than everyone else. And there's
Yes.
other people too. It's not just him.
Mhm. Yep, I saw Crow do a tour. I don't know if you saw that video the other day.
I missed it. I keep meaning to go back and watch it.
Oh my
Actually, I don't
goodness.
keep meaning to go back. I thought to myself when he told me he was dropping, then I go back, but I totally forgot about it till you just brought it up.
Yep, yep, it was wild, like, that fellow, gives he mentions Woody in the video, and I'm like, "Man, you 2, like, that is a recipe for ending up on Skid Row, like, trying to keep up with something like that, that is wild, and you know
Yeah.
what? If you can do that, more power to you. If that's what makes you happy and you can support that, great."
If
So
if your home is paid for, your kids and yourself are taken care of, food's on the table, you're paying
mhm,
your bills, and if this is what makes you happy, then so be it. It's
yes.
what
Yep.
and we know a lot of collectors, um, we know there's a lot of collectors that they can't do it. And it's not just
Mhm,
here, man, because like I've seen NASCAR collectors and they are crazy with how much money they spend. And they're working extra jobs just so they can support something. And they're like engineers and stuff.
yep, yep.
So
I we my town is Long Pond, so we have the NASCAR track here, and as I'm going to the firehouse, I'm looking on the side of the road, and they have pieces of the car that they're selling, and I'm like, suddenly my 112 scale figures are not a problem because, like, where are you putting this shit? Like,
yeah, and I say, I always say, so for me, I don't care how much someone pays. I absolutely hate when people go like, when they're like, "Oh, that's a lot of money you spent." Like, who cares? It's their money.
hmm hmm
But what I want to see is how do you display this stuff?
hmm
Because are you someone who just keeps everything in a box? I don't want to see that. It's boring as shit. But are you someone that has a display? Because now I want to see how big your home is to display it.
yes.
And I don't mean I need to see how big how big your home is and how rich you are, but like how do
hmm
you display it? Where do you have a room that's that big
hmm
for everything? And it's one thing to
Yep.
do it in a real American hero, 1/18 scale size. It is different doing it when it comes to the 112 scale. And I think we all know that.
Yeah, 100%. So back in the day, there was, see, I didn't even think that there were that many brands when it came to skate. And how naive I was because I grew up in the suburbs where we didn't have a skate park. There weren't a ton of places to skate. So like it was, like a mini strip mall. There was an area there that you always got kicked out of, whether it was the bike kids or the skate kids or whatever. But there weren't a lot of dedicated spaces. What, if any, brands were when you were a kid, and maybe now, like, do you still have the same brands? Has that changed over time? You know,
Yes and no. So there's
okay.
brands that have changed over time, and
Hmm.
then there were brands that are that to me made me love skateboarding. Um, you go back to the late 80s,
Hmm.
Powell Peralta, Vision,
Hmm.
um, there's Powell Peralta, Vision, there was Zorlak, they were around.
Hmm.
Santa Cruz, they're still around. So is Powell. Vision is more like a a Meyer brand now or a Walmart brand.
Hmm.
Someone just owns the name.
Hmm.
So there was five big ones. And a lot of people talk about World Industries shaking everything up,
Hmm.
and basically Rocco, who basically said, screw you guys. It doesn't have to be corporate. But in
Hmm.
all honesty, the team, the brand that made skateboarding what it is today, and I will stand by this, was a brand called H Street. And with Tony Magnuson and Mike Ternansky, they got together. They basically just pulled all these people together. DIY video. That's how they did it. And from there, when Mike Ternansky left, he created Plan B. And Plan B went over to
Hmm.
the World Industries. Plan B took all the best riders, and they had a small
Hmm.
team. And Plan B is still around today.
Well, I can tell you, and this is where I said my brief foray into skateboarding. There are two brands that every actual skateboard aficionado, people who took it seriously,
Can
people
I
who
ask what
loved it.
year? Can I ask what years around?
So this would be 84 through 86,
Okay,
somewhere in that range.
so can I guess?
Yes, because the next slides will reveal them.
Is it going to be Powell Peralta in Santa Cruz?
No, worse than that. Worse. Okay. Here we go. You're going to laugh and you're going to be like, now I know why you became a BMX kid if that was your board.
All right, so Veriflex was a real brand.
Yes, it was.
Veriflex had Lance Mountain. He was a professional skateboarder. Lance Mountain is
Hmm.
a 60-plus-year-old, still professional skateboarder.
Hmm.
He skated for Powell, opened up the firm.
Hmm.
And now I don't know if he rides for anyone for real anymore. They
Hmm.
also had another guy, Jeff Jones, who unfortunately took his own life.
Hmm.
They were a real brand.
Hmm.
Nash was never, but I believe that the majority of the people in when we started skating either
Hmm.
had a Veriflex or a Nash.
And the thing I discovered, and probably about the time when I switched over to just like dirt tracks and jumping things and doing that, was the difference between my Variflex, and it was like a Kmart board, right? Like it
Yeah,
was flat. It only had the swooped up tail. It was
and
flat
that's
in the
what
front.
in that era. That's all they had. They had a little bit of
Hmm.
concave. There was no nose. The nose just kind of ran straight off, maybe an inch, and then you had
Hmm.
the big whale tail.
And the boards were heavy as hell. Like they weighed a ton. Like all I could do, like I started, tacking and getting some momentum, and then like the first couple of weekends that I tried to do anything with the Veriflex, I was like, okay, that's it. My sister had a Nash, and Nash started as a hardware store. Okay, so Nash was a hardware store.
Is that why
Then,
they're a saw blade?
yes,
I had
yes.
no idea.
So Nash, their first skateboard was like in the 50s and it had they took the wheels off of roller
Yep,
skates,
I know. Yeah.
metal wheels, put it on like a wood plank, and that was their first skateboard. And we had one of those because my parents were like crazy ass antique collectors,
Oh
and that
wow.
was like up on my dad's workbench was like the first Nash skateboard, like it was ever going to be worth something. But we had one, weren't allowed to touch it. But there you go. See, Cypher's first board was a Nash.
Like I said, I know a lot of people. So here's what I said about Veriflex. Veriflex actually had good bearings, so the boards actually rolled. You know, most of these other skate companies, they have really crappy bearings, even to this day. And it's something that some of the actual pro brands that put their models in Walmart, and I can't think of who else would have anything. Walmart, Target probably has some.
Does
But
Dex carry them these days?
possibly.
Maybe.
So one of the brands was Dark Star. I think it's Dark Star. And they're a real brand. Chet Thomas. And somebody asked him, they said, he was on an interview and they said, well, you have boards in, Walmart and Target, and it's not the brand, it's not the boards that we have here. Is this just a cash grab? And he said, no. He said, they're not the same quality as what we sell through our Dwindle distribution. But we want to, if a parent goes there, most parents aren't going to spend $150 on a skateboard for a kid that you don't know if they're going to like it. Or maybe they'll spend $30 or $40. But if that board absolutely sucks and it can't roll, it's going to turn them off. So if we can give them an inexpensive skateboard that rolls, no, it's not going to be what we're doing, but you're also not expecting it to be. The downfall is that real skaters would see that Dark Star is in, Walmart, and they think, oh, they've sold out, they're making crap boards. But when you actually look at their actual skate decks, they were coming out of probably the number one distribution.
So when you mention bearings, I did not become a bearing connoisseur until I was a inline hockey player and inline aggressive skater. And that's when I learned about ABEC ratings, and I really like, why the hell is Larry, who's like a shit skater, how is he getting from one end of the rink to the other? Oh, well, now he switched, he went from stock rollerblades to like ABEC fives. And I'm like, shit, I got to get it, I got to get a hold of some ABEC fives. Like, so.
And, I mean, I can remember the biggest thing was people used to talk about Swiss bearings, which is actually what I skate now. The Bone Swiss was the Bone Swiss, which are owned by Paul. They also have ceramic. We used to always say they would fall apart after a while because they had open caps. The reason why they fell apart was because we didn't know how to take care of them. So when we rode through dirt or whatever, we weren't cleaning them like you're supposed to. We're German bearings, where they were the big ones. They were completely sealed, so there was less likely of getting dirt in them, but they also didn't roll as well. My bearings now, and I've had to say, it's like the one thing that I don't buy when I buy a complete board, if my bearings are in good shape, because I don't want to break them in again. They roll like you wouldn't believe.
Nice.
And they're not even the ceramic ones.
Okay.
I'm never going that fast. Like, I'm not going to be going that fast that I need to justify $180 ceramic bearings. The $70 Swiss that I bought probably 5 or 6 years ago now are good because I keep them in good shape. And there's this little tube that they have so you can clean the bearings. And this is why, and the thing you clean bearings with is nail polish remover, which is also known as what?
Acetone.
So when people are telling people to use acetone to remove stuff off of figures, I'm like, you clean skateboard bearings with that, so you better be careful, because if it's
Yeah,
good enough to clean a skateboard bearing, it's good enough to do some damage to a figure.
100%. And I destroyed a set of Swiss bearings by basically what amounts to using my dad's industrial grade. I don't even remember what it was, but I doused them in that. I like dropped them all into this solution. My dad's like, "Yeah, that'll get everything out." Guess what it did? It destroyed the entire interior of all my bearings. And as I was spinning it, because you work the solution in and all that stuff. As I was working it in, not only did it eat the gloves I was wearing, but it also ate everything inside the bearing.
See, it got everything out.
It got
Your
everything
dad
out.
was not wrong.
There was nothing left, and I was like, "Well, I guess this is not something my father knows anything about, so I'm gonna have to consult someone else." But but yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean, this was what my first skate experience was, and you're right. Like Variflex had a team; they were a very reputable, you know, deal. But the board I got was a base model, mass produced, heavy. Whoa! Like I mean, um, oh come on now. So like it was so tight, you couldn't really get any lean to them. And then, like, I took a wrench to it, and the whole thing came apart. I'm like, we're done here. Like, I'm fucking done with this. Like,
yeah, that's again, that's something like if you talk to a skateboarder, they
mhm,
will ride different bushings, and if people don't, so trucks are what hold the wheels onto the
mhm,
board, but
mhm,
in between that, so you can carve and turn, you have
mhm,
bushings. There's different types of bushings, and what I mean by that is different hardnesses.
mhm,
This is the only reason why I know what a durometer is when it comes to like plastic and stuff is
mhm.
because of wheels. Skateboard wheels, bushings are the same way, and you get harder bushings, well, you're not gonna turn as much. You get softer
Yeah.
ones, they're cone different.
Mhm,
Pal Peralta, they make their own,
mhm.
but the brand of trucks that I ride, Thunder, everywhere, if you read anything about it, they're like, do not put them in Thunders because Thunder bushings are made specifically for the Thunder truck, and you're not going to find one that's better than it. And they're absolutely right.
Mhm. Oh. Well, and this was where, after this was my transition to BMX. And my first bike was a black no name. I destroyed that thing.
Wait, was it called the No Name?
It was I think it was just called BMX. Like
Okay.
it was a no name bike, and it weighed 3,000 pounds. And I put that thing, like I dropped it off of cliffs that I tried to ride down. And the thing kept trucking. But when and this was 1987, remember it distinctly. I'm like, okay, I really want to, start to do some other things. And I need a lighter bike if I'm going to do this because I could barely get that thing off the ground. I'm a skinny guy now. I was skinnier as a kid. Like my nickname was Mogadishu Man. Like that was like how I was rail thin. And I mean nothing by it. That was kids being mean to me. Okay.
And what's funny about that is if you watch Black Hawk Down, the term for people from Mogadishu is skinnies.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like the Spanish kids. I was flaco. All right, that's what I was. Okay, that's skinny. All right, so I needed a lighter bike, and all I wanted was a light bike. And my grandfather passed away in '87 into '88, like New Year's Day in '88. What none of us had known was my grandfather had gone to the local bike shop. That was when these were still a thing. We actually have a bike shop, but now it's all mountain bikes where I live because it's mostly trail riding. But uh, he had gone and he had bought me a GT prior to him passing and getting really sick.
What
And so,
GT?
like, this guy called up my grandmother and he was like, "Hey, Joe, my grandfather was also Joe. He's like, Joe was supposed to come by and pick up this bike at Christmas and he didn't." And she's like, "Well, it's going to be really hard for him to come pick it up now. So, is it paid for?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's all paid for and everything." And this is the bike, the GT Performer.
I
And
I
mm,
love the Performer.
oh, it,
There was the Performer and the Dyno,
mm-hmm,
and
yeah,
the Performer had the white mags, which I just thought.
yep,
So I had a Diamondback. It was a
okay,
used Diamondback. It was a BMX bike, but I never had real pegs on it or anything.
mm-hmm,
It did have the little stands like the Performer had, so you
mm-hmm,
could stand up and do
yeah,
surfing.
mm-hmm.
That was my favorite bike right there, the Pro Performer.
So it still looks like this today. I added the guard, the chain guard, because when I got older, it was just to get from point A to point B. Yeah, it was the grunge era, so it was just to get me to the CD store down the road. So, and by that point, I had really, really wide pants, like for reasons I don't know why, but they were really wide cargo
The
pants.
same reason why I had them, and I don't know why.
It was a thing. Um,
That it was. I wouldn't
it,
say it was a good thing, but it was a thing.
yes. And yes, Huffy, like what was Huffy the one in the ET movie? Because I think ET did a lot for BMX bikes too. It's like kids were like, "Hey, I can get from point A to point B on
And
these
Huffy
things."
started off, if I'm correct, as a real bike company, just like
Hmm.
Veriflex, and then
Yep,
became that Kmart brand.
yep.
Where Champion, if there's any kids watching, Champion was the Kmart fucking brand. The Kmart,
Yes.
I'm Champion shoes. And now
Hmm.
all you kids think it's cool, but we had it on layaway for like 6 months.
Hmm. Well, I will tell you, it is nigh impossible to find an original set of GT tires because they're all dry rotted out now. So those are, new tires and new tubes. But I can tell you that this bike is worth more than my daughter's first car now.
I
Like, and
believe it. And it looks like it's in great condition.
it really is. For what that son of a bitch has been through, it looks great. And now my son rides it, so that's pretty cool. Although now he has switched to a mountain bike because, pedaling is hard. Um,
Now,
Mongoose was the other one. Yep.
so so when you were doing BMX,
Mhm.
and at least around here, again, there was Diamondback, there
Mhm.
was Redline, the Mongoose, but really the two factions that people fought about, was it the same GT and Haro?
Yes.
Okay.
100%, because it was like when I pulled up in that, I felt like I pulled up in a Lamborghini. Like, when I pulled up for the first time in my group of friends, they were like, "What the hell?" And then there was half of the friends that were like, "That's amazing. You are now the man. Step to the front of the line."
You you just kind of like GT was like Lamborghini, Haro was Ferrari,
Mhm.
and then the other brands were like the expensive brands, but it was like that's the Lotus. It's
Mhm.
good. It's fast. It's a
Yeah.
four-cylinder turbo. Um, that's a DeLorean. It's
Mhm.
gonna break down on you,
Yep.
but it looks cool.
Well, 100%. It was, yeah. I mean, those were the deal. But I will tell you that those mag wheels, I had to
Right.
go back and get a second front wheel almost, I want to say, within the first month of having that bike, because I tried to do something that I did with my old, tank of a bike,
Like
and I
crack.
cracked that son of a bitch right out of the gate because that particular GT was not meant for doing what I wanted to do with it, but it was light enough that I could get air and spin and do some of the other things I wanted to do. But the hard landings those mag wheels were
and
not for that.
and I can say this, like during that time of like where you're still like I'm finding skateboarding and you're still like riding BMX and you're kind of
Hmm.
deciding which one you want to do. It was still a lot about the look of everything.
Hmm.
So when someone who's actually riding BMX would say, "Dude, mags are heavy and they crack." No, they don't. They
Hmm.
look amazing. Little do you realize, like this person's like probably like when again, the most useless thing on a skateboard is graphics. All right.
Hmm.
People would ask me like, "Hey, what's the favorite? What's your favorite graphic you've ever had?" I'm like, "Dude, I've had like 500 skateboards. I I could tell you very few of what they were, other than during the early days when the riders kept the same graphic for years.
Hmm.
Now it doesn't even matter."
Well, and I don't know if it was like this for you, but in my town and with the skater kids, it was about stickers. Like,
Oh,
the most foul, craziest stickers that you can throw on your board were a badge of honor. You as soon as someone came back from Cocoa Beach and went to Ron John Surf Shop, like they came back with,
Salty Dog. Remember Salty Dog?
yes, yes. There was a hockey team that called themselves the Salty Dogs
Really?
because of that.
I
Yes.
remember when I went to, 'cause I kept seeing Salty Dog,
Hmm.
and I remember going to going to Florida, and we went to Ron John, and I was
Hmm.
super disappointed that it wasn't Salty Dog. Well, guess what? I don't think Salty Dog is still around, but Ron John I just went to a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'll be going there. I'm doing a speaking thing for work in December, and I am without a doubt going to Ron John's when I'm
well,
down
they have a
there.
whole well, you are from you're from New Jersey, right?
So originally from New Jersey, and I live in Pennsylvania now. Yeah,
Okay, and that's where Ron John is from, New Jersey.
the Jersey Shore. Mm.
Yeah, but that's where
Yeah.
the original one was, which
Hmm.
is crazy to think about. Like the biggest surf shop is from New Jersey.
That's insane. Yes, that is truly insane. If you have ever been to or lived in New Jersey.
Yeah, and
um, and we are going to talk a little bit about fashion because you could not have been a kid in the 80s without certain you know uh aspects to your wardrobe. Maybe we can move this forward because I think we beat that one. Okay, so the movies, we kind of talked about a little bit about this in the pregame. So for skateboarding there was Thrashin' and Gleaming the Cube in the 80s. Non-documentary and non-team videos,
yeah,
like as far as mass market Hollywood. And then for BMX, there was only two. There was only two that mattered. There was Rad and there was BMX Bandits, an export of
I
Australia.
was trying to think of what the other one was, and then the moment you said it, I went, "Oh, I remember." I
So
couldn't
that
tell you
that
anything about it, but I remember it.
BMX Bandits is my thrashing. It is so bad. It is so bad, but comes on, if it comes on, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing for the next hour and a half. Like, there's no escape. It is the first Nicole Kidman movie ever. Okay. And even as you're watching it, even as a child, you're going, I don't believe this. Oh, see, Ultramensch, I am 45 minutes south of you in Long Pond. So there you go. Um, but for us, BMX Bandits was so absurd. It, it, it I don't even know how to describe it. And it was all I was trying to figure out throughout most of the movie what accent they were speaking in because I had never I had never come across Australian film because I had not yet watched like Road Warrior or anything like that. So, oh, Quicksilver. So that was a Bike Messenger movie though. That was a 10 speeder.
Well, technically, well, okay. I mean, Brad was technically a Paperboy movie.
Very true.
It is a
Very,
Paperboy movie.
very true. Very true.
So
But
the Paperboy thinks he. What did he say? So the Paperboy thinks he can ride the hell track or something like that.
they can ride the hell track. Yeah.
Wait, let me ask you about Rad quickly before.
Sure.
How many times have you paused it and looked at what comics were on the rack?
Oh, I probably I don't think I was ever that worried about the comics.
I'm
I
talking
don't
about.
think
I'm talking about in recent years because
Oh,
we
okay.
watched it for Punks on Film a few years
Mhm,
ago, and we
mhm,
had paused it. And I believe there's a G.I. Joe comic up there. There's
mm.
all kinds of comics up there when they walk in. Has nothing to do with the show, but both myself and Matthew saw it and went, we gotta watch this.
But, as far as Hollywood goes, you know, again, you said it, Rad is the best extreme, sport movie ever made. It is Lori Loughlin's villain origin story. Yeah, like a good girl gone bad. um, I can't believe Aunt Becky started off as a BMX chick. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my gosh. I know, and Becky. But then you had Adrian in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the guy that played Bart Taylor was an Olympic gold medalist gymnast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's crazy to think that Becky was in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lords of Dogtown didn't come out till what, like the 2000s, right? That was Heath
Yeah.
Ledger and
Yep.
what do you think of that biopic?
In all honesty, like
Mm-hmm.
I believe people should understand the past, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't like living in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a and I mean I love watching and going back in those times and watching those old skate videos because of the time that I was in. But I'm not
Mm-hmm.
that person that says, dude, it was so much better in the 80s. It was so much
Right.
better in the early 90s. It wasn't,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Boards weren't as good, and
Mm-hmm.
they've only changed so much. But the technology in trucks and in wheels, the
Mm-hmm.
shoe technology has changed. Um, Even though I'll tell you that this is the greatest shoe of all time, right here.
Hold
The
on. Here we go.
the
Yeah.
Etnies Sal Barbier. It has
Ooh, fancy, fancy.
yes, he designed it, and they brought it back.
Mm,
And I actually these are from Joe Fest 25. I've had them that long.
wow.
And I
Wow.
haven't skated them. No, I have not skated them. I keep buying
Mhm,
more and more Etnies, which is who did all the rad stuff.
mhm, mhm.
I keep buying more and more, so I have all these shoes and I never skate in them because I don't skate nearly as much as I like to. So I have this massive amount of Etnies shoes.
Um, I am disappointed because I probably either they're in the back of my car or in the back of my closet somewhere. I have a pair of 37-year-old Vans.
Okay.
So,
So you see that right there? What that kid has on?
yeah, yep,
I have never bought a pair of Vans.
really.
I hate Vans.
Oh,
Those shoes wear out faster than Chuck Taylor's. They have no support. The only pair of Vans I've ever had, they were
mhm,
given to me by someone in my 20s, like my
mhm,
mid 20s, and
mhm.
they were not this style of Vans. They were an actual pro shoe and not like not the half
Yeah.
cap Caballeros. I don't like them. Never have. They wear out. Um, I had a lot of Airwalks, a lot of Vision streetwears,
Mm-hmm.
DCs before people knew
Mm-hmm.
what DC was.
Yeah.
If you ask someone what DC stands for, they're going to have no idea. They will look at you and be like, "It means DC." It's like, no,
No. I'm
it stands for
sorry.
drawers clothing. That's where they
Mm.
came from. But I get stuck on Soul Tech, which is Etnies, America, and S.
Mm.
And to this day, it's what I still wear all the time.
I had 2 pairs of Vans in my entire life, and they were the low cut pro shoe, but they had so much foam in them. They were so comfortable for me personally, but again, I wasn't wearing them to
Yeah,
skate. I was wearing them to because that was the group that I was hanging with, and,
yeah.
but 37 years later, I still have them, and they they don't look new, but they don't look like they're 37 years old either. So,
I still have an old girl skateboard
mhm,
sweatshirt
mhm.
from probably around 94, 95.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
ever wear it anymore. I
Mhm,
have I have a drawers clothing jacket that I got around the same time when I worked at the skate shop. I
mhm.
posted on Instagram years ago when I found it, and somebody hit me up and asked me how much I want for it. I'm like, it's I'm not selling it. And they're like, if you ever want to sell it, hit me up. And then I started looking up how much drawer stuff goes for.
Mhm.
And wow,
Yeah.
maybe I should sell it.
Yeah, Chuck Taylors were it.
Ugh,
If you didn't have Vans, it was Chuck's where I lived for sure.
talk
But
about something that wore out, especially the canvas ones. Like if you're skating, you're doing ollies, you would rip through that canvas in a day.
Mhm. Yeah. I went through a Reebok phase too, for sure. Um, but, like, thinking about the different clothing brands, and you were talking about, Ron John at the shore. I don't know a kid that came back in the '80s that didn't have an Oakley windbreaker. It was the same purple one with the multicolored Oakley logo. It was like those kids with the starter, like the one with the pocket in the front with the hood
I have one.
jacket.
I think I still have it. My Detroit Pistons one, but I actually have a starter UNLV jacket, the
Mhm.
zip up one from 10th grade, which would have been 92.
Wow.
And
Oh.
I've had the zipper fixed. I've had
Mhm.
the I've had it the um the pockets sewn up. It is
Mhm.
the most comfortable jacket. And I remember my dad going, "You want me to spend $120 on a jacket you're never gonna wear again?" I was like, "Yeah." And I wore it for 20 years. And I will never forget a substitute teacher was like, "Oh, a UNLV, huh?" And I went, "What?" And he's like, Are you an UNLV fan?" Because it was
Mhm.
when the Running Rebels were like popular, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Your jacket." And I'm like, "Oh, I bought it because it was black." I had no idea
Oh,
that it was
yeah.
a college.
I finally got rid of my '92 Ranger starter flip down, Velcro pocket with the zipper in the front because all of the filling in the arms had gotten so flat, like it provided no warmth. And I'm
Yep.
like, maybe I can get it restuffed. And it was like, stop it, just let it go. It's
Sometimes it's hard to.
it is. It is. Um, I got a kid sized World Industry hoodie. Nice.
So,
Yep.
you're looking at these brands, and I can tell you right now, Santa Cruz,
Mhm.
Independent, Thrasher, Division Streetwear, and Airwalk. I don't remember having an
Mhm.
Airwalk shirt, but I had a lot of Airwalk shoes. Those are the
Mhm.
only brands there that I've ever worn that's here. Also,
Mhm.
to all the people that don't realize it, if you haven't figured out where my logo comes from, Here it is.
Yeah.
All right. And if you've been looking at it, not realizing that it said Vision Streetwear, and there's a good chance you didn't. If you didn't know what it was, you're going, oh shit.
And I will say, do you know how many times I had to run this thing before it finally put the Vision logo where I wanted it? Because I was hoping you were going to bring that up. um,
Okay, I do have to mention though. This kid either has his shoes on the wrong feet, or his feet
yes,
are on the wrong feet.
he is definitely goofy. I don't know if he's goofy footed, but he's goofy. Um, but like where I was, no fear for a long time was a thing, and I was just like, that is so stupid. But I had like two no fear shirts, and I had the no fear skull on the back of my hockey helmet when I played in a traveling team, like that, like
So
windswept.
I remember No Fear becoming everyone's thing that
Mhm.
wasn't associated with skateboarding.
Yes,
And it made no sense because you didn't do anything that took no fear.
100%. Yeah.
And then it just became like all the MMA shirts and stuff that you would see, right?
Yes. Yep. Like Johnson fishing lures. That was what no fear became.
Ocean
OP.
Pacific, another one.
Yeah. Yes. I actually, do you remember when, I don't know if your schools did this. They used to have like a fashion show, like that was a fundraiser for our school where like they would have local like clothing stores would like dress kids up and like, whatever, but I was stoked because I got OP line for the night, and like I must have been like 8, but like OP was like the shit. I was like, yeah, look at all you people.
So I gotta ask. So looking at these,
Hmm.
this clearly isn't just the 80s because
It's
globally,
early. Yep.
glo- so I mean, I have some real issues with the clothing brands that you have up here for skateboarders.
Hmm.
So
Well,
if it,
it's both. It's supposed to be both, but it doesn't encompass like I had like and again, not the most foo-foo of brands, but was it Jegs? Like it was like cargo pants that were
oh
hugely wide,
yes,
but they were for the broke kids who couldn't afford, Jenko jeans. Like,
and I never had Jenko, and that's what
yeah.
I. So skateboarders
Hmm.
during the 90s, the most popular pants were blind jeans.
Hmm.
They were the ones they were already frayed at the bottom,
Hmm.
and then they finally stopped making the frayed ones when the whole fraying style went away because they're like, "Dude, you're a skateboarder. You're gonna fucking fray them anyway. I don't know why we're pre-fraying them." Uh, the blind jeans were like they were the most popular jeans for the longest time. Like we could not keep them in stock when I worked at the skate shop. New Deal had some
Hmm.
that I totally forgot about till I was at the skate shop a couple years ago, and they had some there, and I was like, I'm like, oh my god, they did make. I forgot that they had made shoot or pants.
Hmm. Well, and I looked at some of the skater kids, like, and this was middle school going into high school, and I'm looking at them, and between the fact that they were hugely wide pants, but they were also at thigh level with a belt around them. I'm like, there's absolutely no way you're pulling off anything wearing what you're wearing, but that was that, and the chains everywhere. There was the wallet chain, the key chain,
So
the chain just for the hell of it chain.
there is a skate video called "Big Pants, Small Wheels," and you want to talk about encompassing the early '90s to a T, and it is
Mhm.
literally what we would call bearing condoms for the wheels because they were. I don't know how we ever rode wheels that small. Now, people watching, they're like, I don't understand what's the difference between the bigger wheels and small wheels. Skateboarders are very prone to hitting pebbles and going forward.
Yeah.
So the smaller the wheel, the smaller the pebble can take you out. And just like anything, you have to push harder to go faster because you are right. I mean, when I put my finger around, like I put my fingers around like this, a wheel, you know it's small. Um, but yeah, big pants, small wheels. How now we didn't wear skaters, at least where I was at, didn't wear the pants hanging down. That was a fashion that I can say no one ever adopted. Probably for the fact that you're not doing anything.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I will never apologize for my style for back then. Right? I'm proud of it. I loved it. But I was trying to kickflip down 7 steps at Kennedy Square, and I kept falling. I'd catch I'd wheel bite, which is when your wheel hits your board, and normally you go flying forward. And I kept rolling. And my friend Adam was laughing, and he kept laughing. And I go, dude, what's so funny? He goes, every time you fall and you roll, you look like a bag of clothes rolling down the street. And that was when I truly realized that my clothes are too big. Because I'm wearing like extra large shirts. I didn't work out back then. I was a $110, if that. And I'm wearing 44 to 46 waist pants, extra large shirts, which I can't wear an extra large now. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. I have a picture from, like, I don't have a lot of stuff from my youth. I really don't. But I found a picture of that time period, and this was kind of the skater look. I wore my dad's old Vietnam thing. It had a million pins on it, and like I had like a beer pin, a death from above pin. I had like a bunch of skater pins, BMX pins. But that was kind of, and those are the worst stonewashed jeans I've ever seen in my life. I'm just catching that just to the left of my grandmother's finger. Is it a grandparent photo if the finger's not in the way? Like, but that was kind of what I wore. I wore like, old army stuff, but then
that was big.
Yeah. But so there's two more aspects to it, is the music. Like, and I have a major problem with some of the bands that they threw into this thing, because I did not I was never skating to REM or BMXing to REM ever.
REM had, and I don't dislike REM. They had the one song, "The End of the World," right? That was the one that people knew.
Yeah. What did you skate to?
So this is where we found music, and I can say that I started off, and I don't know why, and how I doubt my cousin would even know why she would have this, but my friend, he knew about something, and we're talking, oh man, 12, 13. Circle jerks, doggy style, the Misfits, Bad Brains. Like, that's what started, but it wasn't a big thing because Run DMC came along, and Public Enemy, NWA, stuff like that. It was when 8th Street and then Plan B and some of these other companies started putting Bad Religion, Pennywise, all the Epitaph bands. That's where we started finding No Effects. And somewhere along the line, in all honesty, even before any of that, Sick of It All and Killing Time was a big thing. And Sick of It All to this day is still my favorite band, with Pennywise being my second favorite band. But the music that was early on, before it became rap and everything became popular, like popular music, it changed everything.
Yes.
We knew about Suicidal. We were metal, we got into metal, so Slayer and Anthrax,
Hmm.
Exodus, Testament. I used to love Testament.
Yes.
But there were a couple snowboard videos that had this band called Panic. I don't think they ever did a second album. It's still in my playlist, and I love it when it comes up. A band called King Horse. We found it because it was in a snowboarding video,
Hmm.
and it was produced by Danzig, so it had to be good. And
Yes.
I don't know if they ever did another album, but it's awesome.
Yeah. For
So yeah, the music that to me, skateboarding and music, that is what shaped my childhood
hmm
into what I am today. Like, now this is gonna sound weird. The death of my mom shaped me into being a skateboarder because, when you're 13, I watched a lot of people over the years that lost a parent and how they acted, and most of them become pretty destructive. I was the exact opposite.
hmm
I did karate and I was getting into skateboarding. I
Right.
lost any type of love for karate. I didn't
hmm
care. All I
hmm
wanted to do was skateboard, and that's what I did. And from skateboarding came the music. And a lot of people ask why I've never drank and done drugs before. Well, when you're young, you promise your parents you'll never do anything. My mom was a smoker. That was the only thing she did. She made me
hmm
promise I'd never smoke because she
hmm
hated it. So, you make those promises that you'll never smoke, drink, or do drugs. And I just kept that promise. But then you get into skateboarding, and you're just focused. It takes your mind off the hurt that you're in. But then you get in this music scene, and there's this straight edge thing, and your other friends are straight edge. And
hmm
rather than your other friends that are trying to find drugs or alcohol on Friday and Saturday night, you're with your buddies, and all you have to do is find a place to skateboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the music and everything, and that those two things shaped me into who I
hmm
am today, for better
Yeah.
or worse, no matter how people want to look at it.
And I would say it's very similar for me because I probably have emotional skid marks with the transition that I made in music because I went from a kid from Jersey who was listening to like glam rock, right? So like I was born and bred from, Bon Jovi, New Jersey, Guns N' Roses, Poison, all that was like the
I love
stuff.
I loved Poison. All right, I loved Poison.
My second concert was Poison Warrant. It was the
I
Cherry
didn't love
Pie
him that much.
tour for Warrant.
I didn't love him
Yeah.
that much.
Well, my dad got the box because he worked for Goodyear, and Goodyear had a box at the local arena. Um, and we got there, and some of the antics on stage, and some of the things like my mom was like running for the parking lot, and my dad was like, "No, let's see what this is about." Like, like this is all right. I like this. All right. But my friends were introducing me to things because they all had like older siblings. I didn't have an older sibling. And that was the greatest time, right? Like, so I would go to Vinny J's house, and his brothers were, Van Halen, like, going back into the late 70s. Like now it's like 1984, David Lee Roth, prime era. I'm hearing this going, this is amazing. Then all of a sudden, like I'm hooking up with these skater kids, and they're like, "Hey, have you heard of this band?"
Oh,
And my brain, all of a sudden, it was like, "Oh, I didn't know that I needed this in my life, and now I want nothing but more of this." Right? Like
unfortunately, we only got that one album.
that's it. That's it. I mean,
And you know what?
uh,
As much as I hate that they won't do a reunion tour, considering
mhm,
two of them still play together in Rancid, and they are friends with the singer, I
mhm,
respect it so much.
yes,
And I also
I
respect when Rancid plays any of their songs, Tim
mhm,
does not sing it.
no,
It's always Lars. Lars is always the
mhm,
one that sings it. I think sometimes they can get Tim to sing maybe his parts, but
mhm,
Lars is always the one that sings it. Or sometimes they even have Jesse come up on stage. If you don't know who Operation Ivy is, they're seriously one of the most influential bands ever. And
yes.
people don't even realize it.
I just saw Rancid. They were opening for Green Day, who was opening, or no, it was Rancid, then Smashing Pumpkins, then Green Day. Sorry, but Rancid was phenomenal. But I still to this day say that Rancid is to Op Ivy as Wings is to the Beatles. Okay, that is like Wings is all right. Okay, it is still it is still Sir Paul, but it is not
Yeah,
Beatles
yeah,
quality.
I'll disagree because I was one of those people that I said how much I didn't like Rancid for the longest time, and oh, they're
Hmm.
okay. They were, they just wanted to get on the radio, and then you
Hmm.
start hearing, and then you start listening back, and you start hearing, like listening to the music, and you just realize like how good they really are, and they're one of my favorite bands,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
that catalog is pretty amazing.
it is, and then you've got Social Distortion, but this is an early demo of called Posh Boys Little Monsters, and my goodness, Mike, when at this age, what he was doing,
I said I've never been a social distortion fan.
really,
Yeah,
that's shocking. That
yeah.
actually is shocking. That's
Yeah,
crazy. I mean,
I was never into them all Descendants.
mhm.
Like those bands never did it. But there's a lot of people that tell me when I bring up Circle Jerks, they're like, I never liked them. But if you don't like Keith Morris's voice, you're not gonna like the Circle Jerks.
Very true. Here's one that I miss to this day. I miss Joe Strummer.
I'm never a Clash fan.
Real
Yeah.
Jesus.
See, I'm not a big fan of like the early punk coming over
Okay.
in what was
Okay.
created. I'm not a fan of the Ramones. So if you pull out the Ramones, I would say the same thing.
Nope. Nope. I got no Ramones in this pile. I got one that you're definitely not gonna. I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna say that because I'm already shocked. But
I love that album.
do you?
I mean, I don't care for anything else they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I love that fucking album.
When I first heard this, I had no. I'm like, I don't even know what kind of music this is, and I don't care. it's.
Do
I
you
don't know
know?
what it is.
Do you know now what it is?
I still don't. They're in a class of their own. They're
Yeah.
in a class of their own.
That's
Um,
so that's how I feel of Suicidal Tendencies because people are like Suicidal Tendencies is punk. I'm like, dude, it is not punk. It's
no.
metal, but it's not
Yes.
metal. They live in their
Correct.
own world.
Yes. Um, I know that you will tolerate, but don't don't care for the.
Yeah,
But
not a big fan of Less Than Jake.
this was a huge part of my high school and college. But you brought these guys up, so that's Run DMC's "Raising Hell" album.
Yep.
Love.
That was my first. I can't say it was my first. My first album was Lionel Richie's "Dancing on the Ceiling," but that was the first. That was the first tape that I ever bought myself.
Nice. It was one of the first tapes that I bought. I think I bought that with "Slippery When Wet." Like like again, the dichotomy of Joe's brain. Like, and then I mean, uh,
Well, I'm not a huge fan of the Beastie Boys. I do like that album.
hmm.
Um, I like the album after Paul's Boutique is okay, but I was never
Hmm.
a huge fan of the Beastie Boys.
So let's see. For a modern band, here we go. Suicide Commandos. All right. And Grip
I've heard of
Inc.
Grip Inc. I've heard of them.
Yeah, I mean, I am very selective when it comes to the Beastie Boys because it all sounds so very similar to me, like in each era, right? So,
Yeah,
like, they go through this, and almost all the songs sound the same. They go through this, and almost all the songs sound the same.
that is
But
that's Bad Religion to a T.
yes, yep.
So you listen to the early '80s. So now I know because I've listened to them so much. If
Hmm.
you listen to Suffer, No Control, Generator, and Against the Grain. They all pretty much sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
Suffer is a little different, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, the same sound. Then you get to the next two, the Gray Race, and Stranger Than Fiction. Same style. That was when they left Epitaph. Then they made some really bad albums.
Mm-hmm.
They put they put their best song, America's Jesus, on a really bad album that I hate every song on it, but that song is my favorite song they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came back and went more. It was more like the early, like the early 90s, but kind
Mm-hmm.
of scaled back, and they started making good music again. There was two albums. One album they don't even admit to making. It was so bad.
Right.
Like they
Right.
won't play shit from it.
Yeah. I mean, do you find that what you listen to now, are you open to newer bands, or do you
Yes,
find yourself going deeper on old ones?
both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I found this isn't recent.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the last 15 years or so. Maybe a little bit longer than that. Arizona band, I can't think of their name. Authority Zero.
Okay.
Fell in love with Authority Zero. I'm not a huge fan of like their slower stuff. Like when they do like a slower, well, they have like two slow songs on their album, and I'm like, not for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I still find myself going back and listening. I mean, I listen to all the Pennywise stuff, Bad Religion, Sick of It All,
Mm-hmm.
Madball, Rancid. But when they put out new stuff, I enjoy it. And when I find a new band and I don't need a band that plays and sounds just like the early and mid and late 90s, but I
Mm-hmm.
need something
Mm-hmm.
that I hear and it rings out.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's usually when Lagwagon, Strung Out, like one of these
Mm-hmm.
bands makes a new album and you're like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I find hardcore music seems to be the closest to what it was. It's played better now, but
Mm-hmm.
it still has that very heavy sound where punk music changes.
Mm-hmm.
There's ebbs and flows all the time with punk music,
Right.
in the style. And there's lots of different styles of punk music. But I have
Mm-hmm.
no issues. I am not that person that will. I'm not that person that goes, well, everything that we had back in the late 80s or early 90s, mid 90s. That would be my era. That
Mm-hmm.
hey, it was better back then.
Right.
I like hearing
Yeah.
some of the stuff. I like when someone harkens back, but I also like hearing the new stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
as you get older and you hear bands like Strung Out, very good musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they play a style of music that doesn't require you to be a great musician doesn't mean they're not. They're
Right.
metalheads and they work
Mm-hmm.
that into their music, but they're punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They and like I went and saw Strung Out and Pennywise in downtown Detroit, St. Andrews,
Mm-hmm.
down the street, and I mean literally down the street is Cobo Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Megadeth was playing. Well, Strung Out, when they got done, they went over to try and get into Megadeth, and one of the roadies happened to know them. So they're posting pictures that while Pennywise is playing and they should be at the show, they were down the street at Megadeth in Detroit, which I'm like, that is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because why you don't need to
Mm-hmm.
see Pennywise again? You're opening up for him.
Right.
How many chances do you get to go see Megadeth, who just happens to be in the same state, in the
Yeah.
same city, and then you find
Yeah.
out like, oh, one of the roadies knows us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I don't know if you like Rise Against it all, but I found them
I used to
late.
really like them. I did too. They're one of the worst live bands.
I'm so glad you told me that, because I was like, man, I got to go see them next time they come around.
Oh, I did
And
tell you that. And this came from the first time I saw him, the guy that told me this, he was
Mhm.
also there. And we were texting back and forth after. And I'm like, dude, you are so right, dude. They are not good live. And he goes, this was one of the better showings. And I was like,
Oh,
ooh. They just,
oh,
man, I mean, I don't know what it was. Like, his voice and timing did not fit with the music properly.
yeah. I and I own two albums for Rise Against. It's this one and the one with Help Is on the Way.
Yeah.
Those are the two albums that I own, and I love them. And like, there's very few, because how I listen to music now, unless I'm traveling for work, is I listen to it on vinyl, because then
I
you
was gonna
have to
ask,
listen to.
I wanted to ask about that because you're showing me all this vinyl. And I think
Yes.
we're gonna have very different views on this.
Yeah, I
I don't remember
see
we
it
talked
from.
about this either.
Yeah, so for me, because and this only, with the set of tubes that I have in my tube amp right now, they only just burned in, but the sound stage just goes crazy. Like, once you burn them in properly, you hear things you've never heard before on albums. And I stand by this as someone who's losing his hearing. I will be deaf eventually, but for now, I just turn it up. But you know, but for me, experiencing whole albums, because I grew up in tapes were the first thing I owned, and you could fast forward, and it was a pain in the ass. But then immediately went to CDs where you could skip, which was
Yes.
phenomenal. Then, when I was in my early adult stage, we got the iPod where you could just pick and choose your songs, and you're like, fuck the rest of this album. Like,
I wish
I
I wish I could have done that with some skate parks or skate parks. All right, because that would have been great. And I'm gonna tell a story about a professional skateboarder that talked about a skate video when we get to, because now that you said something, but go on.
but yeah, so like, yes, CDs are when I stopped learning songs names. But now, going back, I don't know if it's the ritual. Like, now at the age I'm at, I just want to relax, and I could be listening to the heaviest of heavy albums, like stuff where, like, my wife will come through and be like, can you please not, can you turn that down? Or like, the dog is staring at me like, can you please, like, there are tones that I'm really not like, please, please, sir. But I enjoy, you drop the needle, like the sound quality. When I first got vinyl, I could only afford shit record players and shit needles, and I had crappy speakers. That is not the vinyl experience. Like, it's an investment, and now I'm going to sound like a snob, and I don't care, because it's true. But like, if you can save up and then get components, and which is what I did, I got components as I went along. Once you get all that together and you get a clean copy of a vinyl, I'm not talking about a scratchy piece of shit that, someone has abused for 40 years, like a clean copy. Or even some of the remasters now are incredible. Like, I have some Pink Floyd stuff that certain remasters do not sound better. I stand by that. But the Pink Floyd remasters are like the difference between going seeing the London Symphony and your local eighth grade, band. Like, that is how different the sound is. But I do enjoy dropping the needle, and then you're forced to listen to the entirety of what the artist intended. Not always a good thing. I'm not saying everything's a banger. Some of it sucks hard, hard. Like, you made this choice as an artist to include this. Like, you have all this good shit, and in betwixt it, you have all this nonsense that is just awful. But it kind of forces you to enjoy all of it. And like I said, as I get older, I just want to relax, drop the needle. You listen to the entirety of it. And it's great if you have that kind of time on your hands. when you're traveling, when you're in your car, absolutely. Give me my playlist for driving when I'm mad. Give me my playlist for driving, long distance to keep me awake when it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Give me those. But when I'm at home and when I can put it on the good radio record player with the good speakers and everything, it is an experience that you can't match.
If it doesn't fit on this, I don't want it. I mean it. Like I put my headphones in and I listen to one side while I'm working. I mean, I don't want CDs. I've never been a big fan of vinyl. Probably because I'm on the go. I'm moving stuff around all the time. You have to take care of them. Originally CDs you had to take care of. Then you find out they're pretty fucking resistant.
Yep.
They're pretty much resistant to everything, right? But so there's a pro skateboarder, Mike Carroll. Every skateboarder would know who he is. So you're talking about skipping stuff, right? So blind video days. Most people know the video. It is the video that really put Jason Lee, My Name is Earl, on the map of how good of a skateboarder he was. They had 5 skaters. One was Jordan Richter. He was a vert skater. Mike Carroll told the story about how he recorded it, but he cut out Jordan Richter's part because he didn't want to watch it. And one day they were all going to skate and they put in a video that went back to his house, put on a video. They threw on video days to get hyped up to go skate. And it goes from Rudy Johnson's part, and then it jumps to, it's supposed to be Jordan Richter, and then it jumps to Mark Gonzalez's part, boom, and then it goes into Jason Lee's. And then he realized that Jordan Richter was there. So it was like he didn't realize they were skating with him because he skated street too. And then it was like, dude, like he's here. What do you mean? Like, dude, he's fucking here, and just realized you came in to get hyped, and you watched Guy Mariano, Rudy Johnson skipped over his fairly short part to Mark Gonzalez and Jason Lee. But that's the same thing. Like there are songs that I skip because you're like, this is the best song. Skip. Why did you make this? Why didn't you skip it when you were recording it?
Well, and there are, I could probably count them on one hand, albums that I can listen start to finish and not be like I wasted at least 20 minutes of my time.
Do you think it's the older stuff?
I do.
And because
I do.
Because it means something to you. So like Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. I used to put that album in. I'm sorry, that cassette tape. I used to put that in, and I start playing Super Mario Brothers 2. And to this day, if I put on Fear of a Black Planet and I start listening to it, I can see where I was in that game. Because you remember the old games, Super Mario Brothers, you could beat it, and you knew what to skip, and you skip worlds and different things like that. I can still see my mind being in certain spots.
1000%. And actually, come to think of it, 3 of the 5 albums are all from a band that I would not pay to see live today, even though they're touring. I have not bought their new albums or their singles because I think that Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction. I could listen from beginning to end and not be mad.
That was a good album.
And Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Now, not every song on either of those albums is a banger. Like there's even some like skits or some bullshit vanity things that Axl wanted on those albums, like the Get in the Ring. I'm sorry. show me on the doll where the magazine people hurt you. You know, but you know, like those are albums that you
Yes.
know you can listen to beginning to end. You don't get that now at all. I don't think.
I want to say Lights Camera Revolution.
Mhm.
Uh, you can disagree that You Can't Bring Me Down is not Suicidal Tendencies' best song, but
Mhm.
you would be wrong. And that is their best album. And you can argue it, but you would be wrong.
Mhm.
That album is their best album. It's not even close. And to me, it's like Persistence of Time for Anthrax. It is their best album.
Mhm.
From beginning to end. Every single song on Persistence of Time is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, they all sound the
Yeah.
same other than Got the Time, which is a cover, but that's beside the point.
Mhm. And I'm struggling to think of other albums right now, and I have all my vinyl right there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like actually, the Alice in Chains Unplugged album, I could listen beginning to end. Um, not
See,
much else, man.
for
Like,
me, most of the Sick of It All albums, Pennywise, Rancid, Strung Out,
mhm,
Lagwagon,
mhm,
um, a lot of the No Effects, but there's a lot of No Effects that I'm just like, all right, dude, I got to skip this. A lot of the No Effects, and again, if you know anything about No Effects, they're not the most, well, they're a very political band, I guess, but they're not
mhm,
politically correct. Early on, they really weren't. Um,
mhm,
they have some really good songs that have some really, really good meanings, which
mhm.
is almost crazy to believe how they were as a band, that they would have anything that would be real. Like Guttermouth.
Right.
Guttermouth has no real songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Them and the
Yeah.
Vandals.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, not a band that you like, but The Clash, very political,
Yeah.
very, but there you go. All right. So I missed that concert. That was when Metallica was with them. I know that. And I'm sad that I missed it now because my wife had gotten tickets for Hershey at the end of this summer, and I was like, absolutely not. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the what would have happened if Elvis lived concert. I don't want that for my life.
And
Like,
and that's what's crazy. So I've seen the recent the recent Axl Rose.
mhm.
Yes, I'm a huge Swiftie. I've seen Axl Rose. It's an embarrassment.
Yes.
It is, because he can't sing. And I remember probably been 10 years ago or so, maybe 8 or whatever, Bad Religion.
Mhm, mhm.
And the singer, Greg, he's like, someone will tell me when I'm embarrassing myself, right? And he sounds just as good as he ever did.
Mhm,
Last time I saw Pennywise, same thing.
mhm.
Sick of It All. Now, I don't think Sick of It All will ever play again, because the singer I think he has throat cancer. He was
Mhm.
fighting it. And if you ever listen to Sick of It All, understand, like, he'll say, I don't sing, I'm screaming. I don't know how he could ever come back from that. I just hope
Mhm.
that he ends up beating it. And even if he never plays again, he has a wonderful life, and, the band can do whatever. But most of those bands do not embarrass themselves. But I do remember Sick of It All talking about how they went and watched Metallica, and this is probably 15 years ago.
Mhm.
And the drummer Armin, was watching the drummer of Metallica, and he's like,
Yeah.
he just can't play anymore. He doesn't
Mhm.
have the speed. He can't. They're like, he's embarrassing himself. And
Mhm.
there are some there are some hardcore bands that are the same way, like
Yeah.
Agnostic Front. Vinny Stigma,
Mhm.
from my understanding, for a long time cannot play. And a buddy of mine that plays in a band here, their band opened up for him, and they said they kept watching the other guitarist would turn down his amp when he wasn't paying attention, because he made it worse. And then he's like,
Yeah.
every time he found out, he'd lose his shit and crank it back
Mhm.
up. And
Yeah.
then when they wasn't paying attention, he'd crank it down again. Because they're like, he just made it worse.
Yeah.
But he does like
Well, and
he's the only original member.
and that is always my fear in going to see bands. Like, there's certain bands, I have a short list of bands that I want to see before anything happens to any of the main members of the band. So, like, one of the bands that I checked off was Tesla. That my I'd gotten
You mean Testament?
tickets.
You mean Testament?
But
You mean
Tesla,
Testament?
Tesla. No, no,
Name it
no, no.
Testament. God damn
They're
it.
on there. They're on there. But like, if you look back, gosh, 25 years ago now, I saw Steve Miller Band, completely different genre of music, right? That dude sounded perfect. And he
Mhm.
was singing and he was playing instruments. They all were. It was not backing tracks and all that nonsense. And I am so glad I got to see Steve Miller Band, live in person when they were still good. But you're right. There are bands that now I'm like, oof, no. Like Guns N' Roses was on my list, and then I saw how Axl came back, and I was like, no, I don't need to see that now. So,
So I haven't been to a concert in quite some time,
mhm,
and I've been to very few arena shows. Almost
mhm,
all I think all the arena shows that I've ever been to, which is I think two, it was for my daughter.
okay.
So one was Fall Out Boy. Believe me, I did not go to see Fall Out Boy.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
positive. I mean, I've seen some like bigger venues, whether it be on like the Warp Tour, things like that, but they were for bands that I liked. Even though I haven't been to one in a while, I
Mhm,
don't like sporting events.
mhm,
I'd rather just sit home and watch it if I'm going to watch it.
mhm,
It's not the same. I used to love professional wrestling. I was at
mhm.
WrestleMania 3. I don't know if I ever told you guys. 93,173 of my best friends. Um, wrestling events are awful because there's no commentary.
Mhm.
All you hear is the mat hitting the ground,
Yep.
right? Sporting events, same thing. You're paying an arm and the leg. Halftime, you can't see what's going on. Then it's a pack to get out. Concerts are completely different. Sometimes the band sucks.
Mhm.
Sometimes, normally, at least for punk shows, and again, when you're in a small club, and I don't care what anyone says, a club is better than an arena.
Mhm.
There is something about the main band coming down and they're in the crowd when one of the opening bands is playing. You're not
Mhm.
going to get that from Metallica and other bands like that, and probably for good reason. I
Mhm.
love going. I love going to shows.
Mhm.
Though I hate sporting events. I don't. I guess I
Yeah.
hate sport. I just would rather not go. But
Right.
I've gone to so many concerts by myself, and again, I'm not in an arena.
Mhm.
Although I've gone to big places by myself, so it's
Mhm.
not like it matters to me.
Right.
There's something special about watching that band put their heart and soul into the songs they've created. And
Yes.
sometimes you hear a different style of that song. You hear
Mhm.
stories about them. You
Yeah.
know, when you hear bands come in that are from New York and saying, "Dude, like this fucking place scares the shit out of me in Detroit here."
Yeah. Yep.
When you hear other bands making fun of other bands that think they're hard and they're not, and you're
Mhm.
laughing about it,
Yeah.
and hearing the stories. And to me, that was always the best thing. Like a band that
Mhm.
is telling a story. Uh,
Mhm.
when people tell me like somebody played a 3-hour show, now I'm never no hardcore band, no punk band's ever gonna play 3 hours. You get
Right.
45 minutes, sometimes an hour.
Mhm.
But when I hear someone play like a 3-hour show, and it's someone I don't care about,
Mhm.
and they're talking about all the different things that they did, and they're up there and they're telling stories, I'm like, that's someone that knows how to perform.
Yep.
It's not to me, it wouldn't be about, well, they had this wardrobe change. Who the fuck
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
But they're telling stories and they're up
Yeah.
there doing the same thing that I do on Monday nights, except to many, many more people, than that are
Yeah.
watching me.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They know how to
Yeah.
entertain. And I have no problem paying for that. And I
Yeah.
enjoy watching it.
I've seen the Shinedown guys in two different iterations. So I saw Shinedown when they played Wilkes-Barre in the arena. I am too old to be standing in. I was like one row away from the front. I am too old to do that now, but I did it that night and we paid for it for like a week. But that was a phenomenal show. And then I saw them again. Well, the first time I saw them, it was just Smith and Myers, and they did an acoustic show in a very small Sherman Theater. Very cool. I saw Soul Asylum, and I got to sit down for that one. That was amazing. That was amazing. But you're right. Like, and actually, who opened for them was Corey Glover of Living Color.
Oh,
Which
wow.
is he was amazing. That man can sing.
So I've been to very few concerts where I'm sitting down, and that takes away from everything, in my opinion. You don't. Can I stand up? Am I not supposed? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was a pit guy from beginning to end of the band. I was in the pit singing. I'm a short guy, but as I got bigger, I didn't get knocked down very often. I also know how it goes. Like, you're not trying to hurt someone. You see someone fall, you pick them up. That's how it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
I used to always be that guy. I looked at the guy sitting against the wall like this, and I never want to be that guy. I never want to be the guy sitting in the fucking back, coming and watching. I am so happy to be that guy. All right. If anyone ever says you'll never admit I was so fucking wrong. I never need to go in the pit again. Last time I went in the pit was Pennywise, and some big fat fucker fell on my fucking ankle, and it literally went and blew up.
Oh.
And the guy I was with said, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "No, Pennywise is playing. It's not going to get any better." It was my driving foot, and this guy I did not trust to drive my car. So just because he's a bad driver, not that I didn't trust him, just bad. And so I drove home with a bad fucking foot, and sure enough, I went to the doctor, and it was sprained. I mean, I don't even know I went to the doctor, but when it's sprained because it's this big.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm okay. I can sit against the wall, and last few times I saw Sick of It All, he'd make jokes. And he's like, "Look at all these people in the back. That's how we all know we're old, all right?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't worry, I'd be back there with you." Like, your body, again, can I take being knocked around? Yeah, I'm still a pretty big fucking guy for my size. But it also takes a toll. I mean, I fucking sleep and it takes a toll on me. So being bounced around in the pit by kids that are like in their 20s, they guess what? They're waking up in the next morning going, "Oh, let's do another one tonight." And you're like, I slept with my neck this way, and I feel that I'm going to hurt like this till tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I saw Less Than Jake a while back, and I gave it the best 5.5 minutes of my life being down in the front, and then I just slowly made my way to the back, to the bar, and I'm like, okay,
You
this
pull the
is where
Homer
we're at.
Simpson, you're like,
Yeah. I was like, all right, you kids have fun.
But that's just it. Like, this is for you. Like,
yes.
This is for you. Like, skateboarding, again, it's not for people in their 50s. But I can still do it, and I don't embarrass myself. And I know that I'm fighting a losing battle, right? And what I mean by that is your body's going to eventually fail you. It hasn't failed me yet, so I'm not going to stop. And I feel like your body breaks down when you really quit doing everything, right? You just sit around, you don't do stuff. Like Matthew says it all the time, motion is lotion. But when I skateboard, I'm not skating against somebody else, right?
Yeah.
I'm not skating against someone who's trying to knock me off my fucking board. In the pit, you are in there, and someone is trying to knock you down. Not trying. Well, they shouldn't be trying to hurt you.
Right.
There's a reason why people don't play football after they're pro in their 50s.
Yeah.
Matthew talks about pickup basketball. People get in their 40s and 50s, and now they've allotted their time. Some of their kids are getting older. That's when they start getting hurt. And the NBA may not be physical because they all flop like soccer players. But when you're playing street ball, you're going to get knocked around. Now, the one sport that is the exception is beer league hockey.
Yeah.
Because those people will be playing till they're in their 70s, getting knocked around, and then they wake up. And the craziest thing about that is that half the time you can't even rent ice till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Here's a, maybe a not so funny story. Like, now that I'm older, I feel horrible. Okay. So I used to play in roller ice leagues, everything when I was in college, for getting ready for travel season and all that. There was an older guy, and I was young. I was in college. I was all amped up. In college, I got bigger, and, there was an old guy, and he played, we were all in inline skates. He played in roller skates. And Joe Velez, if you're out there and you see this, I am sorry, because now I am the age you were when I did this to you. And he would talk shit. Like, he was an old man that talked shit. And there was in this rink, there was a bar, and it was about chest height. And, it wasn't the best rink that we played on throughout the season, but it was one of them, right? Like, that's the trope, right? Is it, out of all the rinks, this was one of them. And so he got into the corner, and I was like, this is my time to shine, right? So I get down there and I lay into him. And when I tell you, all you saw was feet going over this board, that's all you saw was eight wheels. And when I got done, like, in the moment, I was like, yeah, that's the last time he's going to talk shit. And as I'm skating away, I hear the guys, Joe, are you okay? Joe, oh my God, I think he's really hurt. And I'm like, whoops. And now that I'm that age, I'm like, this is why I don't play in those kind of leagues, because there's going to be a young kid who's going to do me like Joe Velez. Like, and, you just see it coming. And, but you're right. The beer hockey leagues, like, there's a guy right now who's like, you should come down. Like, I heard you used to play, and I'm like, yeah, I did. That was then, this is now. and
again, I like, my boss he does not like that I still skateboard, and I don't skate nearly as much. But also, for me, riding a skateboard, it is second nature to me. Probably how hockey is to you. Like, you get on skates, it's probably second nature, right? I can, like, people are like, oh, you can probably roller skate. I'm like, I can. I'm awful. Well, you ride your skateboard. I'm like, yeah, that is night and day. I don't understand how everyone can't just jump on a skateboard and ride. But again, I've done it since I was like 11, 12 years old.
Yep.
Right. So I'm not fighting against someone, but I am fighting against the concrete when you fall. I've been very blessed to know how to roll. I credit doing karate and learning how to roll that it kept me from getting injured. Not being super heavy when you fall and when you land, right? As I got older and I got back into it, and I was as heavy as I've ever been, I was breaking boards left and right. But I will say this, about 5 or 6 years ago, I was skating the mini ramp. And it was a pretty big session. And I went to go do a frontside grind on the mini ramp. It's 3.5 feet. And I went to go back in, and when I went to go back in, I knew that I was going to fall. So I went to step off my board. The problem was, when I went to step off my board and I looked down, I saw that I was about to step onto my board. And sure enough, I stepped onto my board It shot out. I went down. Now, you see people that fall, and you know the people that every time they fall, it looks like they've gotten shot. Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about guys in skateboards, like, and you're like, oh, just fucking get up, right? Or they fall and you drop in because you're like every single fucking time, right?
Yeah.
I was probably laying down for probably about 45, 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they knew I wasn't screaming. I was sitting there, not moving. No one dropped in. And I get up. I finally pull myself up. I look up. I get out of the ramp. And my buddy Tony, who he just turned 50, I think he just turned 52. So good. Best person I've ever skateboarded with. He's there. My buddy Shane, this guy Dom. And they're like this. And I'm like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, this one's gonna hurt tomorrow.
Wow.
But I'm loose still. Like I'm still warm. And they're all horrified. And I go to Tony, again, who I've skated with and I've known. I was the first person he met when he moved to New Jersey, when he moved here from New Jersey, like when he was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, man, I go, I wish I had that on video to see it. He goes, you don't want to see it. And I go, was it that bad? And he goes, yeah. And then I start looking around and no one was skating. And Shane told me he worked there, and Shane's 30 years younger than me. No, 20 years younger than me. He goes, Dom, after you slammed and you were laying there, Dom leans over and goes, I don't want to skate no more. I finished skating that day. For the next 2 weeks, I hurt. It was whiplash. I went down that hard. And I could feel myself starting to tighten up. I did not realize I was going to hurt that bad. There have been very few slams that I've taken that hard, and taking it at like 45, 44, 45, whatever I was. I've probably taken slams that hard in my late teens, early 20s. And it was a day or two you were done. Yeah. This was going to work every day for 2 weeks, and you could just feel every single thing hurt.
Yeah.
You know, I still wish I had it on video because I would like to see it. Because I know I didn't get hurt. It's easier to watch when you know you didn't get hurt. Where I've seen some people, they get hurt and you're like, nope, don't want to see that.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. Like when we were doing it, you know, if you didn't have like one of those huge shoulder-mounted, video VCR cameras, like you weren't capturing
that your parents paid $3,000 for.
Yeah, those. Yeah. And like you weren't getting it, or you could rent them from the video rental store if you had a couple $100 to lay down on a what do you call it?
The deposit.
Deposit, yeah. But
which none of us did because we were
no
kids.
No.
I mean, it's seriously. I look back, and again, you grew up in New Jersey. We would go skateboarding in the winter under overhangs. Do you think even one of us was smart enough to go, you know what, we should invest money in? A fucking broom to get rid of salt. No, we just try and kick it out of our way with our foot.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was like in my 40s and I went, why didn't we ever just buy a broom?
Yeah, brooms are like $10, you know.
Yeah. We all could like put our money in. No one even said like, hey, why don't we're just like, we'll just kick it out of our way.
Yeah.
And you never got all the salt out of the way. It was physically impossible.
Yeah. It's because I guess at that point I was doing inline, and it was the same problems. It was the same problems as the skateboard guys. And I think my first major investment in any of that was lightweight aluminum frames for my skates, for my inline skates,
Okay.
because I could play hockey, but I could also remove the second or third wheel or both out of the four wheels and then skate,
I
and then I could do
remember people
rails.
doing that.
Yep, yep. And that was before they came up with the ingenious inline skates that were arced like
Yes.
ice skates. Like, but I had no interest in that. But I
I never
remember the
understood why rollerbladers had four wheels on each side. Even to this day, it's like, why don't you just get rid of it? What do you need it for?
yeah, yep,
It's not like roller skating where you need all four.
no, nope, nope. But when I was working on grinds or anything else, the majority of what I was trying to grind, where those wheels were, it was not going to happen
Yep.
anytime soon. So you had to take a wheel out, um, but yeah, it was fun. It was definitely not skateboarding. It was not as intense. And we didn't get our movies were, if you can even conceive of this, worse than the skateboard movies, because in the 90s we got Airborne.
I remember watching Airborne, and Airborne was so bad it was good.
Jack Black as a villain, like, you know, that was one of his first roles. But yeah, I looked at that one and I was like, is this how we're seen? Is this truly how we're seen? And the answer, and you know what the resounding answer was? Yes, that's how the skateboarders and the BMX see you.
Yeah, as a skateboarder, I can say we were not very nice to rollerbladers. But at the same time, you know, we went from being the top, there was no real BMXers around here.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden they were all gone and you had this group of people now because so many people knew how to skate in line or whatever. Now
Hmm.
this is what they're trying to do. And they're
Hmm.
telling you how dumb skateboarding is. And you're like, motherfucker, I have to do more than just jump onto a grind. All right.
Right?
I have to find a way to
Yes.
bring my board up with me. Okay. You don't. My wheels
Yep.
don't come up with me.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
The only thing dumber than you guys are the fucking soap shoes.
That's the wheelies.
If people
Oh
don't know what
god.
soap shoes are, what Joe just explained about having this grind pad in the middle of rollerblades, they put a
Hmm.
grind pad in the middle of shoes, and guys will run up to a handrail and jump on it and grind down it, but you're not doing anything. You physically, all you have to do is get up onto the rail, and then it goes down. You're not
Oh
rolling up
god.
to it. You're not skating up to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know why I know what soap. I don't even know why I know the name of soap shoes.
Yeah. Because it was forever burned in your brain. Like, look at these assholes. Like, really?
It's kind of, I watched some of the parkour stuff, and
Mhm.
some of it's very hard. A lot of it is very hard,
Mhm.
um, but I don't get it. First, a lot of it is so stupid, and I mean it's stupid in the fact that is really doing a front flip off of a building onto another building that is 8 stories in the air. Is it worth your life? Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen skateboarders. There's just a new cover that Etnies just did where this guy he's grinding a handrail and he's about 8 stories in the air because it's one of and I'm like, more than likely, if you grind a handrail and you ollie up onto it, you're gonna fall backwards. But not always. Not always.
Yeah, and out of the mouths of babes, because my son the other day when he was younger, I was trying to get him into a parkour gym because they wanted to learn how to do it. And the other day, my son was watching a video and he's like, "Hey, Dad." I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "This is just like falling really well." I'm like, I'm like, What? And then he's like showing me the video, and I'm like, no, god damn it, this kid's right. This is just falling well. That's all this is.
I watched
Ugh.
one, and I when I say I watched it, I mean it popped up on Instagram, and the guy jumped over a thing, and he landed right in a hole, stabbed his leg. I can't watch that.
Ugh.
There
Mm-mm.
used to be some Instagram, like skateboard Instagram pages that I would follow, and they
Mhm.
wouldn't tell you something bad's about to happen, and I had to stop
Mhm.
following. Like in on Thrasher and the Etnies one, like they're not going to do that. That you may see
Mhm.
someone fall, but
Right.
I don't ever need to see skateboarders fall and get hurt really bad.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
my daughter, she laughs. She thinks it's funny. I have a weak stomach, but also I'm also doing this. And I will call
Mhm.
her down like I was watching the toy machine. The toy machine or the Plan B slam section. I said, "Hey, Olivia, come down." I go, "It's a slam section." She's like, "I thought you said you couldn't watch it." I'm like, "I've seen this one for 20 plus years. I know exactly what happens. No one gets injured really bad. It's fine."
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
wasn't the first couple times I watched it,
Yeah.
especially when you see an ankle roll, but hey, it
Mhm.
wasn't that bad.
Mhm.
I don't need to see stuff like that, especially knowing that I am doing something that, well, I have to wake up in the morning and go to work and pay mortgages and pay child support and all that shitty stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and this kind of brings us to the last part of the culture, which is the thing where nobody gets hurt, but like it seemed like everybody was doing it for a time. So my first skateboard game was Skate or Die. And then in the arcade, it was 720 that
Yes.
had the weird joystick. It was just circular.
Um, I don't see TNC Surf on there.
No, and I found that odd, but it was also the hardest son of a bitchin' game I've ever played in my life. Maybe it
Well,
gives like ET a run for its money.
you you could you could slide the guardrail. I think that's
Mhm.
all you can do.
Yeah,
I think that's all you can do. And then
that's
on the
right.
surfing, I don't remember what you did. I remember the surfing was more fun than the skateboarding because you could do a little bit more.
You could kinda go around on the wave, like,
Yes.
it's the guy to thrill a gorilla around, like, he would just do
Really,
a
really.
you
um,
know?
so this here, I remember 720
Mhm.
and Skate or Die.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's again, I think we all agree Rad is the greatest extreme movie. I
Mhm.
think everyone would also agree that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is the greatest extreme video game of all time. It changed everything.
Which one?
Two,
Because 'Cause there's been tons.
two.
2?
So
Yes.
I mean, I
Oh,
played the other ones after that, but two
mhm.
was when they started doing manuals, and
Mhm.
I can still remember watching the grinds and doing all these grinds and laughing, going, "If anyone could ever do this," and then
Yep.
years later, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, people are doing this, and it makes
Yes.
no sense."
Mhm.
And I recently posted on Facebook, when I see some of the stuff on skateboarding, I'm just going to assume that it's AI because AI is so good because I don't want to admit how good these skateboarders have gotten.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think we ever got a good like Matt Hoffman's was supposed to be good. It was supposed to be the next Tony Hawk for the BMXers. I didn't find it good at all. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. It was another video game. Out of all the video games, that's another one of them. But I agree. Tony Hawk 2 specifically
Yes. I
was
know, and I know the other ones got better with the tricks and everything, but Tony Hawk was amazing. But
Mhm.
two, it took the leaps and bounds of where it needed to be doing manuals,
Mhm.
nose rides, and stuff like that. Um,
Yep.
it added to that, and if that's all that it ever did, I would have been perfectly fine with it. And I know that
Mhm.
they advanced it even more, but that took the proper progression to where, like, okay, there's specific tricks, nose manis, manuals. There's another trick they brought in, I can't remember. This is something that is in every skateboarder's arsenal, doing some sort of manual. And they brought it in, which it was totally lacking in the first one.
Yep.
And it changed everything. And it was something that playing both of those games, 1 and 2, as a skateboarder, you connected with it.
Yeah.
You didn't connect with 720 or Skate or Die or
No.
TNC Surf.
No.
But you connected with this because you were seeing tricks that you did. You were seeing riders. And those riders, if they were goofy foot, they skated goofy. And if they were regular, they skated regular. And they were wearing the clothes that you saw them. And the music. Pennywise was in it, right? Like they had music.
Yep.
That
No doubt.
is essential to a generation that played that game as me finding Operation Ivy in the H Street videos and Pennywise and Bad Religion in the Plan B videos and stuff like that. Like just as essential.
The best was watching my kids discover music that you had known about forever. And they were like, "This is amazing." And you're like, "Yes, it is. Well done." Like, well done, son. But I mean, did anybody think when they came out with that board, like did anybody honestly think this is going to work out well?
For what?
For the motion sensing board? Do you remember that when Tony Hawk came out with the motion sensing board? I immediately was like, this is going to be hot garbage.
I do. I mean, I didn't until you just brought it up, and now I do remember. And to me, so this is a huge pet peeve of mine. This may shock you guys, but I have pet peeves. It totally shock you, right? Like
what?
And this is huge. And they have this at the skate park. They do events. And I've talked to other skateboarders and they feel the same way. It's you fucking fingerboarders that think you're actually doing something. You have never sprained a finger fucking boarding. You've never got a shinner fucking fingerboarding. You've never snapped a fucking board when you're fucking just moments from actually landing something, and now you got to hook up a new board. And by the time you do, it's not real, dude. I'm glad you're having fun, but it's as real as the fucking video games. And I have a lot of friends, a lot of guys that skate. They do the fingerboarding, and I'm glad they have fun. And they'll tell you the same fucking thing. No, it's the same fucking skateboarding. But some of these guys, they think like no, dude, it's a fucking fingerboard. You're not like. Maybe your fingertips are a little. We were actually just talking about it at this guy's. He just turned pro at Modern, right? We were talking with him, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, you never woken up the next day and been like, oh my finger, oh my god, like it hurts so bad, I can't."
They got like two really jacked fingers, just like
put your little tape, put a little Band-Aid or some tape on it.
Oh god.
But it's huge. Like I will see Modern, they'll have an event and they will have like different park after park after park that people are making. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll walk through them and I'm like, dude, this person needs to build me a fucking playset for my fucking toys because this handrail is awesome. These steps look amazing. This wall, this hubba, like this looks awesome. Put this to good use with toys because that's what you're playing with. Now, don't get me wrong. I say my skateboard is a useless wooden toy. And it is. It is my greatest toy I've ever gotten. Well, I can't say that because I've had so many of them. Kind of like my classified figures. I've had so many of them. But it's a pet peeve. And like you'll walk, like I would go in there sometimes and they're having an event and you're watching it and they're like, oh, and you're like, what the fuck are you struggling for? Like, I understand, like maybe you can't do something because it's not real. But why don't you go out there and touch the actual wood and learn to ride that stupid thing rather than doing what you're doing, because you can do both.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Who am I to criticize someone when
Yeah. I mean, look,
I'm just insulting someone for playing with a fucking toy?
you
Like,
know,
and I guess it's like military people that be like, "You motherfuckers are playing with GI Joe. Why don't you go be the real thing?"
but I mean, I don't. I also don't think that we're like looking around the house or like going online, like, please clap, like, 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 please claps. Can someone give me some attention? Like, honestly, like, I am so thankful that people tune in on Sundays to wax philosophic about whatever the topic is. But I'd do it anyway, whether there was like 0
Yeah,
watchers or 10 or 100, like, and I'm thankful for all the, interactions, but it's like you said, like, it's toys, it's fun, we're enjoying ourselves,
yeah,
like, that's what it should be about.
and yeah, I just insulted people who play skateboarding with a toy when I know that I play, with my actual toys, and that's what a fingerboard is. And I think I guess it's a personal thing because, and I've said this, and I'll say this the day I die. I hope everyone in life finds something they love as much as I love skateboarding. And every skateboarder that I've ever talked to, that I've talked to about this, they say the same thing. I
Yeah.
like, if you ask me what do you love about skateboarding, I don't have an answer for you. I just know that I love it more than anything other than my family.
Yep.
I'm not a thrill seeker, so it's not like I love riding roller coasters. I don't care to ride roller coasters. Um, I don't need to go fast, though I skated fast always. Um,
Hmm.
but there's something about riding that board and doing tricks. And I mean, I can go skate the mini half and do board slides and 50/50s for 2 hours and do no other tricks. Just flow around over and over and over and over till you get winded, which is about 45 seconds. About 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So all
Yeah.
you kids out there, all you kids right now, if you're on a mini ramp with an old guy that's in his 40s or 50s, and you're skating the mini ramp and he does a run, and then it's your turn next, and you drop in and do like 2 tricks, and then you get out and you're like, oh, it's your turn. That guy is winded. He needs you to go longer. And if you
Yeah.
can't, then you get another run.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is freedom in some ways. But I've talked to people and they're like, so would you just go ride down the street? I'm like, no, that's not fun to me.
Right.
Like, it is not fun to me to just roll around. I have to be doing tricks.
Yeah.
That is what is fun to me. And I keep saying, I told my friends, I'm like, tell me when I'm embarrassing myself.
Yeah.
And they're like, it shouldn't matter. I'm like, but it matters to me. Like, when I start embarrassing myself riding my skateboard, I need someone to tell me. So either I can be like, what am I doing wrong? And again, I'm not saying, hey, I need to look like I was when I was 18.
Yeah.
That's never coming back. I can tell you that much right now. But I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
I want to roll around. I want to look like I can do it. And I want to keep up with the young guys. And what I mean by that is like where I can skate with them as long as they do. Not as hard as them.
Yeah.
Not do the same tricks. But if we go for 4 hours skating somewhere, I'm still good. Now, don't get me wrong. In the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, dude, let's slow down.
and I can relate to that because that's, hockey was that for me. When I was younger, I turned it into a spectacle. Like, when people came to watch me play, when I was on the traveling team, my coaches put up with so much bullshit with me. But it was good because I was good, right? Like that, like I when I first started traveling, I was a goaltender. and I would paint my face. I would burn candles and like where other teams could see me and they were like, what the hell is wrong with that kid? Like I would do that before games and my coaches were like, just let him be. He's meditating or doing whatever the hell he's doing. When when I popped my knee and I couldn't do that anymore, I skated out and I would like wear a cape, like all kinds of shit. And to your point, like once I couldn't drop it between my legs, flip it and score goals and do all the nifty shit that I could do when I was a kid, it was time. Like I could skate, I could play, but not at that level, right? So I skated a while, did that. My very last hockey game, I scored one goal. I was sucking wind the whole time. And I'm like, okay, we've done it. You got your last goal. We're good. Now it's time to pick something else.
But the
You know?
difference, I'll say the difference with what you just explained in skateboarding
Mm-hmm.
is that other people are dependent on you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're
Mhm.
not good, that means eventually someone's going to be, we need to find someone else to replace them because we're trying to win, no matter what it is.
Yep.
Where
Yep.
even as my skills diminish,
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving myself. So it's not like I'm taking up a seat in a car to get somewhere, because I'm 50, I'm
Mhm.
an adult, I have a car. But I'm not taking something from someone else. I'm not preventing.
Yeah. Yep.
But I will say this: the hardest part with skateboarding when I got back into it was accepting there are certain things I'll never be able to do again. Just like you were saying
Mhm.
with hockey there.
Yeah.
Certain tricks that used to be like that,
Mm-hmm.
I will never do again.
Yeah.
Kickflips are something that's like, I did a kickflip not too long ago. It took me 7, all right, I think it was 4 tries. I was like so happy. Usually it takes me around 9 to 10 just to land a really shitty one. This one I
Mhm.
landed really good and I was like, boom, done. Don't even have to try anymore.
Yeah.
And these are things that, used to be easy. And there's other tricks that I know that I could still do,
Mm-hmm.
but the risk reward is not there anymore.
Yep.
So like no-handed blunts, like I've accepted I'm never doing another no-handed blunt because the fear of falling and what could happen is not worth it. So
Yeah.
a feeble fakie will do for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well, and you watch like I still watch like Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen and I watch their Instagrams and there's just certain things Tony's like, yeah, we're done with that, and I can still skate, I can still do these other things, but I'm done with that portion of my life.
Exact same line of thinking. The
Yeah.
only difference, and I said the only difference, is the fucking amount of tricks that guy can still do.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So you
With
can't do a
ease.
900 again.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you see the thing you just did that you've never done before? And I'm like, I've never seen anyone do it. You're 60 fucking years. I'm sorry. He's like 57.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But all
still,
those vert skaters are still fucking ripping.
yeah. Rodney Mullen was just here in like Jersey City the other day, like a week ago. Like he was doing his deal. He was
Yep.
just skating the city, and I'm like, and he's got the right frame of mind.
And I've always said like vert skaters, they're the ones that can do it forever. And the reason why I say that is when you know how to skate vert, the bails that you take aren't as
Mhm.
bad as on street. The slams you
Right.
take could be way worse.
Yeah.
But like you learn to knee slide out, so there's not nearly as much impact as falling on concrete. But
Mhm.
you also may hang up on coping that's 14 feet up in the air, and there's only one way to go. But
Mhm.
you don't see them doing that because they know how to skate it so well.
Yeah.
But when something bad happens, like Tony Hawk snapping his femur,
Mhm.
that's one of those things. Now,
Yeah.
I started to see guys like Chris Markovich. He's, I think, 52 or 53. He still skates about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Now, he's super skinny. And I think he's a vegan. So he's in really good shape. So less impact because he probably weighs $140, if that. Where
Right.
I'm 190 pounds at 5'4". So when I hit the ground, listen, I hit it. All right. But he's still ripping. And so there's some skaters that are still skating street that just rip. And I start seeing some of these other guys that are approaching their 40s or even in their 40s. And I'm talking about guys at the park, and they're only skating street. I'm like, you ever skate the mini half? And they're like, no, I don't know how to skate it. I'm like, you need to learn how to skate it. Well, I've never skated it. I'm like, listen, it's way easier on your body. No, dude, when I fall, you're falling because you don't know how to skate it.
Right.
But you are aging, and I'm not telling you to stop skating street. I'm telling you, start learning how to skate the mini half because it will prolong you riding. Because you'll spend days that I can remember like one of the first times I went to the park and I left and I'm like, dude, I didn't even ollie. I skated for 3 hours and I didn't pop one ollie because I never left a mini. Doesn't mean I can't ollie and I'm never going to again, but it felt pretty good. Because you learn how to run things out. And again, you're on a 3.5 foot mini. So you don't get hurt nearly as much. But you go on the street and you try and do a rail. And I always like modern because it has a very smooth floor. It also means you slide out on your wheels a lot. But when you fall on it, you pretty much slide. You go out to one of the skate parks outside and you hit the ground, you stop. And you're usually probably going about 15 to 20 miles an hour in that actual fall. And then you're done.
You usually make a sound.
Yes.
You know. But man, I can't tell you how much fun it has been talking about all of this tonight. It is wild. But you always have a lot going on because I don't know if anybody's told you, but you're kind of a big deal. But what is this week entailing for Lawrence?
Well, I have not even done a thumbnail for tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be doing that when I get off here. Tomorrow, I think I'm just going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con and what people want to talk about.
Okay.
I actually have some slides, so it won't be all about me. It won't be all kinds of pictures with just me in it. I know people love those.
I thoroughly enjoyed that, honestly. It was like I was living vicariously through you that entire time.
I think a lot of people do. I don't think a lot of people cared so much for my vacation stuff. But again, I've been gone for 3 weeks and I talked about it, and it is my show. Like, you don't have to watch it. Like, it is about me. But it won't be Joe Fest, but I'll be talking about San Diego Comic-Con. Tuesday, who knows what. Wednesday, I have nothing going on. I don't have a guest for Thursday with a friend. I think we're going to do a Goodwill mission because that is when the G.I. Joe panel is that morning.
Okay.
So I brought it up to them before we started talking. Spec said, I'm busy, but go ahead and do it. And I said, oh, thanks for giving us permission. I was about to look and see what they said, but there's 21 messages. So I think I'll wait because I can't read through 21 messages
Gotcha.
while I'm still on here. So probably doing something on Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I have nothing going on that you guys will see. I have to record more for the TV terminal, which no one ever sees because it's not on my channel. It's on someone else's. I still have some stuff to get through for Joe Fest. A few more things. That lady Deadpool should be coming soon.
Okay.
But I do have tomorrow shirtless Wolverine.
Nice.
Like it's
I can't wait to see what you do with it. So But for me, we've
I,
got
I I'll tell you this. I made it work with doing what it's for. The
nice.
problem is the Deadpool doesn't work properly because the Deadpool is way too small.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
I had some fun afterwards that I'll be doing a short. I'm not sure how it's going to come out with
hmm
them looking, but
hmm
I'm hoping people will get the gist of it when they see some of the pictures that are in it. Like, oh, this is
I get what he's doing here. But just do me the kindness of not forgetting the term pre-pissed because on at Comic-Con week, there is going to be just a deluge of people who are pre-pissed before they even see it, get it in their hands. They're already mad, and it's I'm done. I'm done with the pre-pissed people.
well, I think that is every day because Spec, he just posted pictures of the 2-pack of Scarlet and Shebang,
hmm
and he said Shebang is better than I thought. Scarlet is picture perfect. I
hmm
disagree completely. And
hmm
then somebody left a comment on his picture saying, "I'm glad you liked them, but," and then railed on every reason why they're so bad.
There you
And
go.
then
I
and then of
appreciate that,
course,
Cipher.
and then he made a comment back, and the guy was like, "Oh, thanks for that. I told you I'm happy for you." And he's like, "No, you really didn't. You said I'm happy for you, but let me tell you why this is a piece of shit." Like, and
Ugh.
I disagree. I don't think the Scarlet's that good. I think Shebang's
Mhm.
actually really good. I don't think the Scarlet's that good, but I'm not going to go on someone else's. I mean, have a
Yeah.
conversation like, "Hey, I disagree with you, and this is the reason why I disagree." But I'm
Mhm.
not going to question your reasoning for liking it. Now, if it's Super 7 Ultimate, I will. But that's not.
Mhm. Yeah. I have an entire box of those down in the basement.
And you know what? They
But
just stopped making them because he realized he's giving them away. So unfortunately, these people they started buying stuff, and he's never going to complete it, even though he has the rights to make them.
yeah, and you know what? I will tell you for the $10 or $8 a piece I paid for them, I'm okay with it, but they will never be displayed. Like
Yeah, because there were
that is
people, man, there were people that were like, "No, you can fudge it in with your classified." I'm like, "No, you can't."
no, no, you cannot. Absolutely not.
Even people tried fudging the. Well, I saw people try and fudge the bat. I'm like, "No, it doesn't work. It doesn't scale." And then I even saw someone say, "No, you can get Cobra Commander in the Hiss turret and it looks fine." And you're looking at the picture going,
Oh,
"Wait, what? Wait, how does that look fine?" Because that's like sticking a classified Cobra Commander in an O-ring Hiss. It
oh,
ain't gonna look right.
stop it. Guys, come on. Guys.
You know, they had
Ah,
the, Super 7 has had the chance to make a 6-inch figure, move away from the 7-inch line. I understand why they don't want to, but they should
mhm.
also look at how bad those things go on clearance.
Yeah, 100%,
And
100%.
maybe your articulation just sucks.
There's a lot more than just the articulation when you get real
Oh
about
yes.
it, but I hear what you're saying. I hear
Oh,
what you're saying.
there's a lot more. I will give you that.
It should be, Super 7 leaves much to be desired line.
There there was a guy when the Super 7 Snake Eyes came out.
Mhm,
He said, and he made a post and said he was comparing the Super 7 compared to the classified Snake Eyes and said that the Super 7 has better articulation. And Matthew and I are like, what? And then Matthew basically called him out. And the guy argued with Matthew till he finally blocked Matthew. And you know how Matthew is. Like, he has to be
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But at this point, it's like you're arguing something that is not true. You just argued that the sky is green when we know it's not. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that there is not a gummy strong enough there is not a proof of alcohol that would ever, no. I think I did like one or two forbidden fruit reviews early on some of those, and I'm like, yeah, if you just sit it on a shelf, it's, fine, but don't touch it. Don't even look at it really hard. Like, it'll fall. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. But thank you so much for coming on tonight. I had an absolute blast. Like, this was a really good conversation.
Thank you for
So.
having me, and I'm sorry that I scared off all your other
Yeah,
hosts. I decided that I'm not doing a show with him. It's all right.
yeah, like I don't know, man. Like I think unless we're talking about Balaverse or wrestling figures or He-Man, I guess I'm shit out of luck moving forward. I don't
I'm not.
know.
I'm not gonna lie. I did kind of laugh because you have the podcast from the Pit guys, and they're having all these people from, that went to Joe Fest or are going to Joe Fest, and I'm like, I went. I'm going.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I can't wait for the next topic that actually excites you and will fit into your schedule, because every time we sit down, it's a blast. So thank
I
you so much.
I had a good time, and I really wish you I really wish you would have been able to go to Joe Fest. And again, I know things got in the way because we're adults. Hopefully
Yes.
next year you can go.
Yes. And like I said, I made my hotel reservation, so we're gonna just power through it. Even if I gotta sell every ghost viper in the arsenal.
You still have
So
them around your Walmart?
yeah, I don't know. I haven't been down there in a while. I need to dip down there and see what they got. But in any case, thank everybody for participating in the chat. We'll see you next week. I'm not sure what next week's topic is. Probably like a recap of what happened this week at the Comic-Con, and like everybody else.
Who will be doing
And
that?
yeah, just a couple of guys. So have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you soon.
Take
Thanks.
care.